Right. Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody? How's it going there, man? Good to see you. Let's go ahead and get started here. So I've just been playing with doing a little bit of test. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoy the music. Here I'll put the put that playlist. Why is it stopping? Let me see. No, it's just taking a while to get the next song. Yeah, I'll put that in the chat there. That is the actual one that I'm watching. Now, why is it not skipping to the next song? It is. It's just quiet. Okay, that is good to know. All right. How's the music volume for you there, Amanda? Hopefully it's not too loud. I have to screw with my settings as well so that it's not too loud for me as well. So can't be the same. I have to change a little. So I'll change it locally. All right, sounds good. Thanks. How's it going there, Anton? Good to see you. Nice. Raspberry Pi. That'd be cool to get into. How's it going there, Flat Grimace? Good to see you. Alright, so I've been just screwing around here this morning, playing with some crap, and, yeah, I'm not sure what I want to build. I want to build something, though. I'm kind of in a building mood. I think I'm going to work on a new skiff. I'm not really pleased with the skiff I have for the new home ship for Tethys. This thing was just kind of a fan test to see if I could get a little fan drone going. So I'm working on that with reaction wheels, just playing with it. So something like that. We'll eventually work on that some more. But I think we'll work on a skiff. So let's go ahead and I'm going to move to FJ. I did not end up doing the sinking ship video. Tried doing it. It was just kind of a pain in the butt to make. I think what I might do is just cut the stuff from the stream yesterday. It has everything on it in the stream. So I'll do that. Why is my test world so weatherous? Let's go. Worked on some NDB approaches. So there are there's 2 runways, 4 ends to the runways, so 4 effective runways at military base. I have done all 4 NDBs, so that's good. We have all the approaches in there. Somebody talked about final approach fixes. If you can't guarantee DME, you don't need a final approach fix. Plus, I'm not going to put the final approach fixes in until I get a way to confirm them. And so, like, the way you would do it in real life is, let's say your final approach fix is right here over North Harbor, going into runway 3. Okay. So the way you would confirm your final approach fix is you could do it off of the NDB, off the bearing 2, and then the distance. But sometimes what you'll do is you'll also do you'll triangulate the point essentially. So what you would do is a radial off of, say, what is this? O'Neill. So let's say the ADF at O'Neill, and so let's say the ADF to O'Neill would be, I don't know what that is, 120. So when you get over here, you would triangulate by having the radial here and the radial there, and that would give you your triangulation, and that would tell you where you are. So I'm not going to put a final approach fix into that, but somebody had talked about that. So let's go ahead here and let's grab Tethys, and I want to get a new skiff. I'm not pleased with that skiff. I also want to try some new outboard techniques, so that was kind of interesting to me. I'm trying to get some building done, and so I, want to play with some concepts here. A little bit more fun to do that. So let's just go, and this is the space we have for the skiff. So we'll go ahead and we'll start new. All right, and where are you at there? What? There it is. Okay. And so this is going to be the base plate, so I know how much space I have for the new skiff. All right, so let's save it as Tethys. It's a TE, not, I keep doing these. Tethys skiff. Okay. So I want to try to get something put in here. It's a little bit different. That I'll be happy with. I'm not happy with that skiff. I really am not. So let's quickly just start banging together a hull here. Try to see where we're at. So let's go up off of this. I have a little bit of height. I don't want to go too high on it, but we'll try getting something put together here that I'm actually happy with. I'm just not enjoying the other one. So I might go a little bit wide on it just to try to make sure that it performs the way I want. And then I want an outboard. It would be cool to have an outboard. We'll see if I can get it done or not. We'll see. It's kind of a small build, so to put an outboard in a small build can be a challenge here. So let's go ahead and try something. And I'm trying to leave a block of space on either side here just for to make sure it's easy to get in and out. I don't want to do completely max size. It is a pain in the ass if it's exactly max size. Okay. So let's see, that footprint. We're going to make it a little bit on the square side just to give it some added inherent stability. I'll do another boat stability tutorial. I've done them in the New Player Career Build series, but sometimes, it's better to do one innate that people can just go right to and follow. And so I might do one of those. But, you know, the first thing is I always start with is inherent stability, which is it should be stable on its own without chicanery. And if you can get that accomplished, if you can get it to be stable on its own, the rest kind of falls in place and it just behaves itself. If it's not really stable on its own, it's going to be a pain to try to get it to be stable. You know, so you know, make sure the center of gravity is low enough. Make sure that it is, you know, stable left, right. All these things. You know, port starboard rather. You know, that's inherent stability. It should be stable on its own without a bunch of nonsense. Alright, so that's kind of the frame of the skiff, and then if we can do a completely flat transom. I might move that out, but I'm going to put in an outboard, and so I'm trying to think how much depth I need for buoyancy. The other thing is, how am I doing this outboard? You know, the issue with the outboards is that, you know, is cooling right now. We used to do raw water cooling with outboards, can't really do that anymore, so let's see. So I'm going to do a test here. We'll see what we can get for buoyancy on this. Oh, Jesus. DPI on the mouse is too high. All right, and let's see. Okay, that's plumbed in there. And so let's go ahead and we're going to delete out the bottom base plate here. I'm going to leave the back section there. All right, and then we'll start cutting in under here. And so we're going to try to get as much buoyancy out of this. I'm trying to keep it low profile. I don't want to do any glitches if I can avoid it. And I'm trying to make it a little bit more inherently stable. So we have, what, 4 blocks on the ass. So we have a 4 ass block here. All right, so I'll just plumb that in so I know scale-wise. Okay, so that's kind of our space. Let's go ahead and stick in the water, see how it floats. All right, not too shabby. That's perfect, actually. It floats up high, which we like, and it also is leaning towards the bow, which is good because the outboard would go in the back. How's it going there, Citrus? Good to see you. All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and let's screw with this some more. Inboards are just, I find, to be easier. It may end up being an inboard. Who knows, man? We just don't have the space. The problem is putting... The outboard just gets fat fast. So, but I really want to build like a tiny, tiny outboard. So let's go start working on that. All right, so let's just start banging this outboard together. So let's do mod. All right. And let's see. I'm thinking of 2. Moving the water is pretty onerous for an engine. So I'm thinking a 2 is generally as minimal as I can get, really, frankly. Belt crank right there. All right, let's see. You know, I would love the devs to go back, and if we look at our propellers, I have an issue with this small propeller. It's a small propeller, but if you look at it, it's essentially 4 blocks long. So it's a 1x4, which is ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, and then we have 4 for the propeller. So that's pretty ridiculous. And then you have to add on a connection here. So because you have to add a connection here, you've just made this a 1x5. And so it is ridiculously long. So, like, in position, like, that is... With the maximum space we have, we could barely do that. It sticks out too far as I'm concerned, because we have to go in and then back out. I would like if they took this prop and then put an elbow right here and cut this block off, that would be great. We could go vertical with it. That would really cut it down. I don't think they should get rid of any parts. I think they should add to them. We also got the new variable pitch propellers. Like, this is the small variable pitch propeller. It is big, and so, like, that can't go on much. But, yeah, so, like, I would like to see an elbow right here that would go into the propeller. That would be nice. Let's grab this one here. But yeah, so we pretty much like it kind of get a little bit screwed on that. So, and then I have to gear it, so that's another consideration here. So, theoretically, I could make it a screamer, but that's going to make it even harder to to cool, so just it becomes very cumbersome very fast. Like that is about as small as it gets, you know. It's gonna have to be 3 wide anyways. I could do a 4-banger and push it back. I might do that to try to get the... Could do 2 across, I don't know. And then I don't want the fucking DPI, it's too high. Alright, let's try something here. Let's, alright. So kind of start plumbing this up here. So let's get the stuff we need. We definitely need a starter on there. If I can find it, there we go. Okay. Alright, so there is the starter. We definitely need an alternator. Grab a pump. Alright, so this is going to be our cooling pump here. Actually, I'm trying to decide how I want to do this cooling pump. Because raw water cooling is pretty much out at this point, so I need to try to decide how I want to do this cooling. Let's do a fat 4, see if that pleases me more. Do something like that. Then let's try... Maybe something like that could be cool. Trying to keep it as low profile and as small as possible, which becomes challenging. It's pretty much got to be a 3 anyway, so... And then that should be fuel air we can do on that side, so that'll work. I'm trying to keep it small, though. Alright, let's go ahead and... Okay. That's pretty good there, I think. So let's go... So we pretty much completely get rid of some of the nodes in this bank. Have to worry about exhaust too, so kind of... This is why it becomes a pain in the ass doing it outboards, is we start losing size here. Start having size problems. So I'm going to have... I'll have the 3 nodes I need, so let's see if that'll work. But the cooling becomes unreasonable now because of, see, like, it's already chunking this bitch out. So the other thought I had was cool in the deck. So let's try that. See if I can get a more... So I want to try to keep this pretty compact. It's a small boat, so I don't want the... I want it to be enormous. See what we can do here. That's why I end up with inboards all the time. They're easy to balance. Right. Trying to just keep it as compact as humanly possible here. Okay. So I'm thinking of doing cooling system in the hull. Let's try that. What's a heatsink weigh? Heatsinks are going to be the best, but they're 18. Ooh. Like this is 10. The heatsink's definitely going to work fine, but that's heavy, man. You know, the air heat exchanger is not bad, but the problem is I cannot get enough water into it. I'm curious if I ran raw water through the wet side. Can I loop out raw water in the wet side? That's interesting. Let's do a quick test here. So let's save this real quick. And I want to do a test, so I want to see, can I run raw water through this cooling loop here to maintain the... I see, I'm still going to get 10 liters per second, still not going to be enough. But I wonder if I could put a priming phase in here that primes it. That's interesting. Let's see if I can prime this. That's interesting to me. So let's see. Let's find out what this looks like. So let's see if I can prime this. Air out. Okay. All right, that'll be air in. This is becoming cumbersome. Becoming cumbersome. Yeah, I'm trying to decide. Yeah, it's going to be too cumbersome. It's not going to be able to work with it's too cumbersome. So let's try a heatsink, see if this thing will float with a heatsink sitting underneath. Because this heatsink's definitely big enough for what we need here. But options are limited now without boards. Okay. Let's see how this floats with all this rigmarole on the back. Might have to fix these blocks. I probably definitely do, but let's see. Probably sinks. No, actually that does seal it. So it's just out of balance really badly now. Let's see if I can flick the camera around some more. I gotta fix the DPI in this. I gotta set a stormworks DPI. I'm trying to find which DPI I like. So let's see. We want to cut maybe there. Let's try adding some weight here. Okay. That heatsink is just way too heavy. Okay. Good to know, good to know. Alright. So heatsink's just not going to cut it. It's just too heavy. It's very much too heavy. Kind of should have expected that. Okay. Let's just drop that as it is. Okay, so the weight blocks can come out definitely, but we'll work on that in a second, so. Cooling options is tough right now without being able to do raw water and something like this. I get enough airflow on a regular air. It's the liquid that's a problem. I cannot get enough liquid on a air cooling setup. Flow rates are just abysmal. Let's read some chat while I'm trying to figure this out. Let me see. Where did I stop on chat? Okay. How's it going, Rasmus? Good to see you. Will this have a custom fuel tank? No. I'll use a pre-built. Is there a benefit to using wedges instead of blocks? They're way less. If you look here, these weigh half of what a regular block weighs. And so it makes it lighter. All right. That's why I'm using the smalls. Let's see. This is tough, man. It's tough to get this sucker cooled. It really is. I could put a radiator. See, everything's huge, man. That's the problem. Because they're trying to, doing small builds, this turns into a disaster. It really does. Yeah, small builds are tough. Like, the micro skiff would work for a little while, but it has to get close. So I'm trying to get a diesel running skiff here. Because I really like to use the air heat exchanger, but I just cannot get enough water in there. Let's try something really quick with it. Let's play with it. I'll dick around with it real fast. Let's get rid of symmetry here. Let's find out what that is. Let's see. You are fluid out. Okay. There's just not enough water spawns in here. Let's quickly do this. Let's save it. I want to go to the other base, and I want to see if it shows me how many leader spawns in that. That could be an oversight, or, you know, it could be put in a feature request where they add some water to this, because this is currently the problem I have with this piece, is it's not spawning enough water. And that has caused me all sorts of problems. Because it only spawns with it was only like 2 liters in there. And I think it's supposed to be like 1 liter per block, but it's just not enough. You can't use it for anything. Yeah, it doesn't tell me. Let's do something. I can cycle it and see what it says here. So what's this? Liquid side. It's like the radiator. If I take the radiator, this one here, I stick this on. Let's stick that on like that. Like this one, I forget how many liters of water it has in it. But like, yeah, see, 90 liters of water in this one. I don't think there's like any practically spawning in the air. And so that's the problem, is I don't have enough water in there. So I have to put a water tank, which bulks it up even more, you know? So I have like no water in here at all. So it really bulks it up. What's the radiator weigh, too? Because, like, it makes that part pretty much useless, which sucks. So, like, if we look at it, this is nice. It's only weighs 2. It's 15 bucks. We look at the radiator. It's 10, and it weighs 200. So, it is, it's 5 times the mass. You know what? Let's try something. Let's go like this. I have yet to play with the scoop on this. Let's see if I can do old school. Oh, piss off, you. Jesus, if I can click the right keys, we'll be in great shape. Let's try this. Probably won't work, but I want to test it, at least. Alright. Let's see if I can get enough water flow through there this way. I know fluid ports are bonkers for this, but this might do. Let's grab a seat. Thunder, come on, dude. Alright, let's just go WS. And then I want to put on... do a couple symmetrical fins here just for some stability as I'm out there testing. Alright, and let's see. That should fix us up. And let's go. I want to test this. I want to see if this is going to give me enough water flow. Fuck, it's still inside here. Let's go. Save it. I need to run the pump. Shit. Let's see if I can read the flows on this. That's the most important thing to me right now, is just to read the flows. So can I stand up and not cause absolute ruckus here? So let's see what the RAM is pushing. See, 6 liters per second is not going to be enough. That is just not enough water flow rate to cool the engine. It just isn't. Like, you know, if this revs up high, I'm going to need like 60, 30, I'd say 30 to 60. And it's just not enough. It just really isn't. You know, so that is, like, that's just not enough water rate. Let's try it. I doubt it's going to work. All right. I don't think that's going to be enough. I just don't. It keeps it compact, though. We'll give it that. Let's see. All right, so we have a starter on there. Let's do an exhaust. X-host. What's going on? Why won't? Okay. Why won't you go on? Okay, it's the red block was shining through. Flip it 9 more friggin' times. See if I figure it out. Let's see. Cat. All right. That's exhaust. Let's see. We want full. All right, and then air we can put in here. Try to keep this compact and light. Question. Does a scoop pointing the opposite direction cause a draw? I don't think it does. But let's play with it and see. I don't think it does. I like to see if I can get a vacuum out of it, but probably not. We're going to be pulling the pump too, so I might be able to get the liters per second up. We'll see. You see how this is pretty fundamentally stable? It literally just has those fins on. I can't steer at all, but I'm trying to see quickly before I hit something. 9. So that does work. We're up. Okay, so that's it. We'll keep that on there. All right, so we're starting to make some progress here. That is like, that's not too shabby on size. That's pretty reasonable, I think. Balance is pretty good. And then we expect the pump. So let's go ahead and save that. This has some promise. Probably get dashed at some point. All right, so let's get the boat. Where, Christ, spell here. Boat with a B, you sucker. All right, so this is from the Modular Engine tutorial series, the latest one. This is the boat, converting it to a boat. Let's go ahead and we'll take that and we'll put that on the skiff. And then I have space to extend this one more. So let's just go ahead and do that now. That way, if I need to put anything extra in here, I can. Okay. Let's put it in the hull. All right, this is going to get a handle to lighten us up a little bit. All right. And I think it has to be right here, maybe. It's either here or 1 block higher. Should have put it 1 block higher, then I could always move it down. And it actually works perfect. Look at that. All right, let's go ahead and we'll configure this for WS again. Now, sticky. Okay, let's go ahead and plumb this in. So we'll go helm, engine, RPS. I'm going to do infinite electricity for now. Coolant pump is going to be there. Alternator is... where the... Did I not plug the alternator in? I did. Note. Alternator goes here. Okay, let's plug that in. Not that I really needed it at the moment, but... Klooch. Where's my klooch? Klooch, klooch, klooch. Okay. Battery we'll plug in later. Reverse. Let's plug this in here. Okay. And we'll plug this. So we'll start with a 1-to-1 and a reverse there. Stop screwing around there, guy. Radiator fan we don't need, and then starter goes there. All right. See if we can get a crank out of this and get this going here. All right. I believe it was 6 as starter, so I need to configure that. Yep, toggle. Okay, it was already toggled. All right, good. We're good. So we'll see what it does with both those 2 scoops and the pump. If we can get up to, like, I need at least 30 probably. Yep, the old klooch. All right. 6 liters per second. Oh, okay, it's not pushing yet. That's fine. It's not pushing yet. It's not going to push till we get up to 100 degrees. All right, I'm going to actually fix that. I just want to see what it's doing first, so let's go ahead. So that's fine. That makes sense. Okay, let's go ahead and grab you, and then where is it? Right here. So 110 overheat protection. 100 is the coolant pump cut-in. We're going to go 0. So that will put the coolant pump to start in right away. I want to test out this, how many liters per second I get pumping here. I'm happy with the speed for this small of a motor so far. You know, I could literally double the size of the engine. I could add 2 more cylinders in the back end of it. It's actually sitting pretty thin, so that actually will be fine. We'll put a big beef cannon in this. All right, please be a reasonable number. Let's check this. 7. Fuck, that's so terrible. That's 7, man. That's terrible. Ugh, that's brutal. We got to get going faster to get that flow up. That's just brutal. That's really, like, that's not going to be enough, unfortunately. You know, I hope they do something with these fluid ports being so anemic. It's just really, it's tough, man. Tough. All right, let's see. Get rid of the scoop. I don't think the scoop's actually doing donkey for us. Let's do that. Let's grab a rama ding dong here. All right, we are currently not supercharging the engine, so let's go ahead and do this. That's going to beef cannon it up. Hopefully we can get the speed up. And then, because we need that scoop to push more water through to cool it, so I need the speed up. So just having those fins, that is why you have symmetrical fins. You know, I know, of course, aerodynamics better than I know hydrodynamics, but it's pretty much mostly the same. It's fluid dynamics, same principles. Is you're getting lift on both sides. Because of the curvature of the fin, you're getting lift on both sides, which makes it want to stay in its current position. And so by just adding fins like that, even though they're not plumbed into anything, they're doing a lifting force up and down, which makes it want to remain in its current position more. So it gives it inherent stability. All right, we're at 7.8 there. Let's watch this temp. I don't know what our speed is, so let's pull it back. I'm reasonably happy with this. Let's see what we can get on this. We might be able to gear this up. I need a speed, so let's get a speed on here. I want to start testing that because I'm liking the general form factor of this. You know, this would be the point that if I just don't like anything about it, I would just say, see you later. Adios, muchachos. But it's, I'm actually not, I'm digging it. The outboard's thin enough for me. I don't feel like I need to cry. and the you know, the general hull shape is pretty good. I'm kind of digging it. It's kind of small and cutesy. You know, and the whole point of it is it's fitting inside Tethys. It needs to be able to fit inside the boat, so. All right, so current, that 20 knots, man. That's 20 knots. That's not bad. That's over 20 knots right there. That's what, 22, 22 and 22.8, something like that. So 22.8 knots. That's pretty respectable. Pretty good for the way it's running right now. That's not too bad. What's our RPS? I can't tell. There we go. I've got a gear. I can almost grab the gearbox. Okay, 11. We're at 11, so that's not too bad. 11's is reasonably low, so that should help us keep the heat generation down. We'll see if I can gear it up a little bit. That will also help. So let's try that. All right, so let's see what our final speed is here. Yeah, so we're like 22 and change. That's not bad. I can work with that. Again, this is going to be off of Tethys. It's not going to be the fastest thing ever. It's designed to fit in the ship. That's its main job. So, all right, let's start trying to gear up. So I want to go. We'll go 6.5, 3.2. I'll put a. Let's just do channel 5. Where's 5? You devil. Right there, 5. Now let's take that off reverse. Let's go like that. And then that should let me make sure 5's a toggle. It should be toggle by default. Okay, let's do that. And this will let me get the gearing going here. So, actually, the other thing I can do is run an impeller. I wonder if I can blast this sucker with an impeller. Let's try that too. No. P-value is a little low. That's why it stutters until I push the W up. Again, this was tuned to sit on a test bench, so. All right, so there's 11. So we've gained speed. Okay, so we've gained speed on this. There's 13. So we've gained speed. So we're still gearing up now. So this is forcing the RPS of the engine down, and it's forcing the speed of the boat up. So, you know, that's good. So we want to go 9.5, and we had 13. So if we can beat 13, we we know we're in the right direction. If we're not, we're going to check the RPS because we might have to keep this on the kind of low end just to try to keep the cooling under control. But I am going to try an impeller. Curious. So right away, we know that's too much resistance. Actually, it might not be. Let's wait. It's going to accelerate slower, but we might end up with a higher top speed. So let's see. That's really giving us efficiency. Yeah, this is going to. I think this gear ratio might work here. Yeah, this one's going to work. It's going to take us longer to get up to speed, but it's going to keep our engine running lower on RPS. So let's check it. If I can stand up, you donkey. Let's see. 9 liters per second. That's not too shabby. We're getting there. All right, good. Let's play with some stuff here. All right, good. So what was... let me go ahead and I'm going to try to swap gears. It's probably too much. That's actually not too bad. That's better. So we're up to a 2.1. So 2.1's working. That is was a 2.2 times 14. So we're talking 30 knots. So 30 knots is more than acceptable there. So perfect. All right. So that's a 2.1 we've got on there. So actually we're pretty well. This is the issue, though, is if I put a friggin' impeller that is bumped to a 2.1, we're going to be in deep shit, I think. I think we are if I do that. Ugh, that's the problem with these small builds. It is a pain. What is... Okay, this just duplicated that. Let's get rid of that. Let's just duplicated fuel on this side. Let's see. Let's try something here. I might be able to get some stuff done on this. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. This is going to be iffy because I'm putting the impeller through the gearbox. I would rather not have to do that, but I kind of have to at the moment. Shit, that's not going to be good like that. Yeah, see, this is going to stretch the wrong way. It's going like that. And that's fluid in anyway, so... Trying to keep this compact, Let's go like this. Keeping this compact is going to be a job in and of itself. Okay, that please be fluid. Oh, you son of a bitch. Let's flip it, see if I can get it to flip. I can't flip that face, I don't think. That's the problem. I need fluid in on this side. See if I can guarantee water through this way. Let's try something. This may be pretty iffy here. Let's try it. Shite, that's not gonna work. The impeller is gonna give me the best flow rates, but we'll see what happens. And I need this node to be fluid in and that one to be fluid out, so I don't think I can flip it in that direction. We'll try. Oh, let me see. No, I can't flip it like that. Sucks. Let's see. Let's try something here. You know, I don't want to actually put that impeller through the gearbox if I can avoid it. So let's go like that. Starts to get very hungry on space here. I think I've got it figured now what I can do to make this work. So it's not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, but I think I can do it. All right, let's go pipe. All right, and then down. This might work for me. Please be fluid out. Oh! The gods have spoken. They're here for me. All right, good. Oh, that was going to be ugly if it wasn't. Let's go actually up forward. No, we want to go back. Okay. So let's go... Yeah, let's go like this. Let's actually not do that. Let's go up. Gonna have to be this wide anyway. I can't do anything about that. So let's go up like that. Okay, coolant manifold there, like so. Do I have a RAM on here? RAM, like that. All right, so that is hopefully going to give us better flows because it's pre gearbox, so it should not take as much engine power. We don't need that much. We only need like 7.2 RPS to get max flow out of that. And then what do I want here? I need to supercharge this if I can. So what I want to do is, what are you? You fluid out? Okay, I want fluid in, so let's see. Please be fluid out. Okay, fluid in, fluid out. Okay, let me just back that up. That was fine the way it was, actually. Okay. So let's see, fluid out here. Out, perfect. Actually, that worked out fine. So let's go like that. So we'll power this engine up so that we can run all that crap. Okay. Let's try that. This should start up right away. Impellers, auto cooling. Let's check flow rates on that. All right, good. That's looking better. We'll see. We had like 9 liters per second, and let's see how this performs. It'll take a little while to speed up. All right, read some of the chat. I didn't read your comment, Citrus, until now, about the impeller. Yeah, it was mostly like, you know, I was gonna have to push it up high to be able to get it to not interfere with the, with everything. There we go. That's 38 liters per second. We're good. All right, so we're all set now. That will run us. Let's see what the air intake is on this. That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. That's not bad at all. We're a little bit slower than I'd like, so we're gonna back off on the speed on the gearbox a little bit. So we have to change that up a little bit. I'm overburdening the engine by putting the impeller on it, so I need to now cut down by. Let's go down 2 and let's go to a 3.2, and we'll test this out again for speeds with the new setup. That's pretty good. So we're doing 9 meters per second last time, which is like 18 and change knots. All right, let's go ahead. I'll shift gears here. Okay, good. So that does better. That's not bad. That is 22 and change. 24 knots. 24 knots, I'm happy with. That's more than 24 knots. We're up to 12. That's 26 knots. So I'm happy with that. That's not too bad. All right, good. Bring that in. Let's get the outboard kind of plumbed up. I'm happy with the outboard. So I'm going to grab this outboard and I'm going to make it a module because I've been trying to have like a static outboard that I'll yank it off later. That's giggity. I'll take that out of here later. Let's see. How much you want to bet this is going to be backwards? Let's see. Got everything? We do. Okay. Let's see, AD. Where are you at, AD? Okay, a little bit of clippage there. So that's fine. I don't need it to go full by any stretch of imagination, so. Alright, it's a right turn, so it's backwards like I thought it was going to be. Alright, there we go. That's plumbed. Okay. What's this? Nothing to place that on, so I gotta deal with it again here. Let's stand by. Something this small, it's going to be very weight conscious. So I got to deal with that. Hence why all these half blocks. Okay. All right, good. I might trim the sides here. Let's do that. No, don't mean to do that. Give me this, please. Fuel tank is... Yeah, we're eating a bunch of fuel. We'll see how fast we eat our fuel. Yeah, it's mostly a small runabout for Tethys, so it doesn't have to go ultra far. I like still to be able to do some stuff, so. Alright. Pretty maneuverable, steers alright. Let's go ahead and kick the wind up a little. We'll go like, I don't know, 40%. So it's always worse going into the wind, so we'll go following seas for a second and then I'll turn around. But not too shabby with, you know, there's no stability system at all on it yet. Okay. Actually not bad. Not bad for, like, literally nothing. There's no stability system on there at all. And that's max speed, so it's not going to be going any faster than this. Props coming out of the water, it's not misbehaving at all, it's just operating, so. I want to keep this, like, I'm trying to work on fundamentals more where, like, I don't put in 900 different stability systems. And so it's a good thing to do with these little builds to kind of show that you don't necessarily need all this stuff if you build it kind of correctly in the first place. Like, that's 40% wind in this tiny little boat, and it's doing great, you know. Like, my hands have been off the whole time, I'm not steering. It's the propeller's coming to the water. It's not revving up like crazy because I have it geared properly. You know, like even that stuff, like that's gonna torpedo right there, but not too shabby. Like, yeah, see it recovered. Like I haven't touched it in a couple minutes here, and so it's working really well. Like 100% wind. This thing weighs 200. This thing weighs, you know, around 4 players. So it's pretty light, and so it's still doing pretty damn good. Why? Yeah, but why would I want to? Oh, I see what you say for weight. Yeah, I don't want to get the weight down too much though. That's the thing, Citrus is, you know, if it gets too light, the wind's gonna blow it around. So. Alright, so we can put a stability on the, all we need here is, let's go here. So I'm actually really happy with this. This is coming out nicely now. So let's go ahead and we will grab, let's save it rather first. Let's save. I see what you're saying though, Citrus. Yeah, like I see what you're saying, like right here, but I don't want to cut the weight down. The weight's pretty good right now. Like I could put blocks, theoretically here and here, but I don't want to cut the weight down because that, like, the amount of weight, so I would drop, if I put in XML blocks, let's see, we'd have, it would be 265, so it's really not that much of a difference, and I'm kind of concerned that it's getting too light, so kind of happy to have it where it is, but yeah, it's a good suggestion, but let's see. This is something I could do, though, too, is watch this. Let's see. If I wanted to do lightness, I could do this, would be the ultimate lightness. I can't go there, though. So, like, for example, I could do this if I wanted to get it really light. Let's say, what are we at, 273? Like, to get it really light, I could do, I can't go all the way back there because of, I might be able, no, I can't. Like that, I would do that. I would do this. And then I would do this. Oh, I can go all the way back. Okay, nice. That is now 275. Oh, shit. Come on. Behave yourself. Behave yourself. Stop doing that bullshit. There you go, scum. So, like, if I really want to drop some weight, I could do this. Now, let's see what that would give me. That would give me 272. Like that. So, yeah, that gives it a little bit more shape. So I might do that. Because it's able to cut a bunch of half blocks in there. Yeah, so do I like that shape better? do not know. I do not know. What did I put? Oh, so actually, this is why it still didn't cut weight. Let's do this. Cut those like that. Ah, you son of a bitch. The microcontroller. I can't cut the microcontroller. Let's flip this microcontroller. Like so. That's fine. So this should cut weight here, and then we can go like this, and then go like that. If we wanted to cut weight, we could do that as well. So, you know, and I could still XML if I wanted to cut weight, but like I'm happy with that. That's 260. Let's see how it performs the wind. We'll play with it, see if that is too light for the wind, because I'm starting to get concerned about if it gets too light, it's just going to be the wind is going to create havoc on it. Probably started, huh? So like we were doing what, 40%? Let's go to 50 and change and see how it does in 50. I like that sloping a little bit better too in the interior. Yeah, so yeah, that works. Yeah, that's not too bad. We're not getting blown around too much. Let's see what the linear speed's doing. Let's go up a gear ratio on this. I want to see what my speed is. That's not too bad. Yeah, I could do it. Let's see. If I was gonna cut that citrus, let's try. Let's see. Yeah. See, I could only get. Yeah, I can't. It's no point because of the microcontroller. Because I can't put it all the way across the microcontroller, so I can't even put it here, so yeah, the microcontroller pretty much makes that. I can move the microcontroller, but it's balanced, so. But point taken, certainly. Alright, let's see. Alright, we want to put in the stability system, so let's save this. Let's go to steering stability. Alright, here's the steering stability controller from the tutorial. I'm just going to grab the Logic. Alright. Alright, and let's go ahead back. Let's put it in here. We have nodes now, so we can do that. So let's get rid of any nodes we don't need. So we don't need radiator fan. Coolant pump we do need. Alright, and then what we can do is we want to add a node here for, this is going to be steering pivot. Because like you notice I have no active stability on the boat, which I'm trying to keep. That would be nice just because it's kind of cool to not need it. Alright, there we go. And let's see, I need a physics sensor. Okay. And I need to go from the seat. So that's going to read channel 11. We'll turn that on with the ignition. Right there. I don't need that. This goes here to steering pivot. Okay, and then we want to go off the handle. Like that, like that, like that, and then your goner, and then that will work. So that will work for us there for stability. What's the p-value on this? 2.25. Okay, let's go ahead and need a physics sensor in here. So let's go right there. Physics sensor goes right here. Make sure it's aligned correctly. Yep, that's good. All right, that needs electricity. So battery to here. I'm not going to put a relay or anything on there. That goes there, that goes there. Those don't need power. This does not. That does for reverse. So I wanted to go up a gear, so let's go 3, 2. I think that's pretty much figured at this point. And then that can all hook in like so. Do physics sensor right there. Let's go ahead and we'll do steering pivot right there, and then did I hook the handle up to the bottom here? I think I did. Okay, so that should work. All right, let's go ahead and we'll check it. So we'll see if this, with the new steering stability, so this will limit the what do you call it? The steering of the outboard to, I need to put a complete limiter on it too, but this will limit the steering of the outboard so that it only gives us an angular momentum of 1. And it's actually probably going to be a little less than that. Yeah, I'm mostly doing it for buoyancy. You know, I'm afraid of getting it too light, that it's going to be a pain in the balls to get it to behave itself in the wind. Theoretically, could put a second fuel tank on. I see a spot for it if I need it. I can re-engineer my exhaust. I might be able to get rid of that cat anyway. Right, so 11. Okay, good. So we're just around in excess of 11. So going up 1 gear ratio. We're still getting the same speed, but we're keeping the engine down a little on revs. All right, let's steer a little bit. So it's going to maintain an angular momentum of 1. So likely that's probably a little bit hairy because it's not steering it back. So I'm trying to see if it will steer it back for me or not. So let's go up a little bit on that. It's not sensitive enough, so let's increase that. All right, so where are we? I gotta edit it. So let's go down here. So this should be steering ability E. So what do we have? 0.25. Let's go to 0.75 and see if that's too wiggly waggly. If that's good, that will give us, hopefully it reacts a little bit faster. You tune in the P value, put a little D value in the engine too, just because it's running a little bit low. Turn my music down. We finally got a loud song. It was had a couple quiet songs, and I've turned the music up in my own ears. If it gets loud for you guys, let me know. Alright, so let's see. We're around. How's it going there, Zachy? Hello, hello. It's around 12 meters per second, so 24 and change knots. 26.4. I'm happy with that speed for this. Alright, checking our fuel. Doing alright with fuel. We'll see. Temp should not be a problem, I'm not thinking, now that we're running this impeller at 40 liters per second. Taking in plenty of air. Let's do a hard turn. Okay, so that's gonna be too much. So let's go. Let's go, I don't know, 0.3, and then let's drop the sensitivity on the handle, I think. Let's do 0.5. I want it to react a little bit faster. And then on the AD, let's drop this to 7. Making a new skiff for Tethys. I'm not pleased with the other one, so the other one's much faster. This one's technically a little bit better. Right, I'm going to limit the angle on this too. That will help. But all right, so let's limit the angle. Those numbers aren't bad right now. So let's limit that out. Let's see. What the hell is going on here? There we go. Okay. So, okay, so the other thing I want to test here too is this. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to put the cooling back to, so the cooling pump is not even going to come in till 100 degrees. And then the overheat protection will, what it does is essentially it takes away my power if I'm going to overheat. That's simple protection so you don't catch on fire. It essentially, like somebody in the new player career build series, somebody was asking, why the boat was dying after 10 minutes, and it was because of that. It was the, the overheat protection, and it's because I did not update that since pressurization. I also screwed up the cooling on it when I moved part of the engine, so now it cools well. I ran it out of fuel before it never got above 40 degrees, and it ran out of fuel before it did anything. So the new player career build series boat went from here to here on I forget how big the tank is in that. That goes pretty fast. Why are we slower now with the cooling pump off? That does make. Oh, you know what it is? Is the impeller pump? It can't go anywhere. That's what it is. The impeller pump is pushing, but nothing's coming out, so it's pressurizing the line. I bet. Yeah, the atmospheres are building up in here. I'd say that's what it is. So you can't do that because it's gonna cause a block. So I need to find where the hell I am on the map. Yeah, so I need to let that freewheel, because what's going to happen is the pump is going to stop. This is going to pump in water, and it's going to just put more resistance on the impeller. So that makes sense, actually. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, good. So let's go ahead, and we want to fix that back then. So that's not necessary. Let's go ahead, and we'll put coolant pump cut in at 0. So let's make sure that was the problem, but that makes perfect sense. See, this is the thing where sometimes you'll get somebody, let's make sure that's right, but that makes sense to me, is it's essentially acting as a compressor. And so, of course, in compressor, the more the air, or the more, in this case, the water, gets compressed, the more resistance you're going to get. And so what was happening essentially was I think, is the pump, because the pump shuts off on top, the impeller keeps trying to push water in, and it keeps trying to push the water in, and it has no place to go, so it keeps building up the pressure. But let's see if that's right. Looks like it is. We're going a couple knots faster, a couple meters per second faster now, back up to where we were. So that makes sense to me, that's what was happening. So, like, let's see, oh my God, will you stand up, you jackass? No, I'm not pumping anymore, so I don't know what the hell that was. That's interesting. That would make sense, though, but that's not what it was doing. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what it was doing. Huh, interesting. Yeah, I thought that I changed the system, so that wouldn't be it. Interesting. All right, let's check steering. There we go. So it's controllable. Full speed, I can start turning. I can make myself still spin out if I wanted, but it's nice and maneuverable. As I slow down, As I slow down, I can get more angle to really maneuver in a dock, for example. You can see that. And then we can get out of here so I can do nice turns. And it doesn't have any active stability system, just the fins. So real basic. I wanted to keep this basic. All right, good. So let's go ahead and let's grab it. Put a couple details on it. I think it's in good shape here. So let's go ahead and we want... Let's do... indicator. And then, let's see. I don't have any place for a stern light, but I don't give a shit, so I'm not going to bother with it, but we'll do... Okay, that's real simple there, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do Occupado. Where is Occupado? Occupado is going to go here and there. Little navy light action. Alright, speed is gone now. I don't need it. So we'll go ahead and we'll put a peep here. Alright, and then let's see. Center of gravity's right here. Oh shit, the microcontroller's here, isn't it? How far back can I go there? How far do I need to go? At least 2. Let's do this. I need a way to pick this up, so... What am I running? Am I running, should probably run a cable to it so it can charge. Yeah, I'll run that. I'll run a cable to it so it can charge. It's going to get winched on board anyway, so we'll run a cable to it so it can charge. While it's off. Alright, there we go. Hook that into electricity there. Alright, let's just test it, make sure that it still operates normal with moving a little bit of mass around there. Looks right, looks fine. But I'm going to try to see if I can get a little bit of revs out of this, because I think we're going to be fine cooling. We might run into a fuel problem, so we'll test that out in the world and see. If I run into a fuel problem, I can add a second fuel tank on top of, we'll go up where the exhaust ram is right now. But pretty compact outboard, it's not too sizable. So I'm gonna go use the facilities real quick. I'm trying to aim this in a direction where I can run it out of fuel. So infinite electricity off now. It should be okay. So I'm gonna run it in this direction here, and I'm gonna go get a coffee and go to the bathroom, and we'll see if it when it runs out of fuel. It will run out of fuel, but when. Alright, I'm back. We're still running here, apparently, so let's check. Try to check fuel without falling overboard here. Alright, good. So we're still doing pretty well. Let's look at the map. Alright, so not too shabby. It's mostly a runabout for Tethys, so again, I can double the fuel if need be. So, not too shabby so far. You know, if I can go from coast to coast, I think that's good for rescues. Yeah, because Tethys is pretty fast by itself. I tend to like my rescue boats to be faster than the mothership because I need them to catch up to it. Currently, this is probably slower than Tethys, which isn't great, but the other boat is, so not the end of the world. Like, the problem is when I have an inboard, the boat has to be pretty thick because the engine has to go inside, and so that kind of makes it tough to get it to be in there, you know? Because no matter what, the engine's going to have to be, you know, it's tough to enclose it in there. You would have to have at least, oh, what is it going to be? It's going to be like, what? 2 blocks interior, so 4 blocks thick total just to put an engine in there, so it's tough. It is tough, it really is. But how's it going, David, if I didn't say hello? I think I said something, yeah, I'm not sure. Alright, so that's seating for 6, so we can do some rescues with this. Nav lights are on. We've got, right at the center of gravity, the winch port, so that we can both charge it and winch it, but not too bad for a little, little boat for Tethys. Let's see. So it looks like the fuel's doing pretty well, actually. We're not really scared on fuel as far as I'm concerned here. Like, we're down to, okay, so I was at like 4.6 liters when I came back. And we are at 4.13, so it's not eating up fuel. I'd like it to be a little faster, but it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. You know. Yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's as fast as it is. Because you know, it's what it's used for too. It's just going to be going into Tethys, and Tethys is fast enough. It's going to do most stuff. I might get a bigger boat to put in the back of Tethys when I'm actually doing a lot of rescues. So let's go ahead and put a little, slap some painting on this, John. Okay. Okay. This one will actually need to be filled, so I'm going to stick that on there. It's going to be going in and out of Tethys. So. All right. Alright, kind of digging that. Let's go ahead and try to load it on. Let's just spawn this. Yeah. The nice thing with the handle there is I can get it from the water. I don't have to try to climb on board and like tip it over to do it. You could do a little bit of PID tuning too on the engine to probably get a little bit more speed and power out of it. Let's maneuverable. I can put it right where I want it. Try reverse here. I gotta check the clutch. The clutch might need some tuning here. Can I put it in reverse? Are we going in reverse here? What's the story, guy? I've not heard it go in reverse yet, so. Gonna be a pain in the ass here. Let's put that back. Let's fix it. Why are you not going in reverse, sir or madam? That's why. Okay. This doesn't hook to reverse anymore. Alright, let's go ahead and I'm going to PID tune this. So let's go and we'll add a node. I'll put a linear speed back on it for that. Composite input, PID tuning. Okay, let's go in here. Right. And we'll do the P and D values. Stop. Whatever you're doing there, guy. Whatever you're doing there, guy. Let's not do it. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. So we were at 0.18, which is pretty standard. Let's go like that. I'll put a linear speed on just for testing. Okay. And then I need my PID tuner. Sure it's the right direction. Nope, it is the wrong direction. And then we'll go composite. Where the hell is it? Come on. There it is. Okay. PID tuner. Alright, good. So we can tune this up. Let's just plug the electricity in. Alright, let's do that. Alright, so 0.18 is where it was. 0.18. Alright. Alright, so we had like 11 and change, 12, just on the edge of 12. Try to tune this PID in a little bit better, see if we can get some more performance out of it. Alright, so there we are, we're pretty much going now. Okay. Let's see where we're at. We might be reaching where we're at anyway, where we're supposed to be anyway. So let's see, I can't, right there. 9 RPS. Okay, that could be why we're having an issue there. Let's see. Yes, we're pretty much... We're going a little bit faster here. I'm able to get it up a little bit. 0.25 and a 150. Let's try a 0.3. So 9 point... There we go. Going up a little bit. So we can get up just a little bit more. That's overshooting, undershooting, so it's probably too high. Alright, so I need to reset this too to 9. Alright, so we're going to go in here, and then max max set is going to be 9. Say 9.5. Alright, and then we'll restart pit tuning. You kind of, you should be kind of tuning in for every vehicle, so let's go do this. Alright, so we should be full throttle now. Alright, good. Let's see, we're at 5. Let's increase. Let's go to 0.45. Alright, you can see it ramping up. Go up some more. That's overshooting. Okay, let's do 1.1. Alright, so we're getting there. Not really changing it too much by pit tuning it like this. Got the RPM down just a little bit. Drop the RPM by about 1 RPS. Let's go. Okay. What are my numbers here? My numbers are 1.1 and 150. Okay, let's try this. Let's go up 2 on this. 1.1 and 150. Let's see if we can start it there. Yeah, it's gonna have stability problems if I tip it over. Fuck. Yeah. That's gonna be a problem. CG is probably, yeah, CG is too high. That's gonna be a problem. So. Good testing on this outboard, though. I might put it on something else. We'll see. Fuck off. One. That's fundamentally has a fundamental instability there. Well, that's part of it too. Is I have that microcontroller sitting on top, so. Get in the handle quickly there, ding dong. Alright, we'll move on from this in a second. Pit tuna? Pit tuna's delicious, yeah. Need some tuna in game. We need some tuna fishing with long lines. What are you at? 6 days till the 6 days till the Q&A. So be interested to see what they say then. That impeller's really doing well with cooling, but it is really neutering the engine too, so. I might be at really the max power of this engine too. You know, you need quite a bit to push a propeller. You know, I do have it kind of cranked back. Let's do something here. I do have it kind of restricted quite a bit. Let's unrestrict this a little bit. Here, screw off this for now. That's just being a pain in the ass. Let's do this. Let's go back to standard PID value on there. And then we'll, I'll play with I'll try to get it down a little bit here because it's, see if I can't get this to scream a little bit because we're like, you know, I spent all that time trying to get that impeller to get the flow rates up, but now the engine is running so low that I might not need such a high flow rate anyway because it's just like, you know, we're running at like 9 RPS, so I'm trying to see if I can pull a little speed out of it. Just slow to rev this engine up, it really is. I'd say mainly because of the impeller. Yeah. Alright, so we'll move on from this here. I'll screw with it some more later. I want to tune all day. Alright. I think I have a save version, that's where I want it. Let me see. Yeah, I have a save version where I want it, so we'll run with that for now, and then I'll play with it some more. But it was good to get some. I've been wanting to work on a little outboard, but I'm kind of getting sick of it right now. Let's work on Tethys a little bit. I'll bring up my list of stuff to do. Won't do too much, and then we'll get in the game, get in a career game. But bring up my lists for Tethys, as I had much to do, much to do. Quack, Google, open the file, please. Right, so let's see. Harbor Gen, fix yaw, power, aft position lock, galley, bids. Ugh, I don't want to do any of this stuff. All right, let's go ahead and I'm just going to load up the save because I don't want to get building anymore. I'm kind of sick of it at the moment. Let's go actually do some missions and whatnots. What do we got? We got some Discord messages. No messages in general. What do we got here? Yeah, I see you there, Citrus. Yep, Citrus is stuck in game. That's great. All of them are stuck in game. Interesting. Will they despawn when I get out of range? Hopefully. Hopefully. Let's see. Let's get out of here. Let's go look at containers. Got to do a land mission. Would be kind of nice for a change here. Hopefully they're not permanently in my world here. That would suck. Don't want a couple carcasses. I could probably shoot them in the head and they die and eventually despawn, but we'll see. Let us see. What do we have here? Sawyer South is 4. 2. 4 is our best bet so far. 4. 4. The 4 is the one we're looking at so far. 4. The 4. The 4. Okay, the 4. So let's get the flatbed. Let's go take this down to Sawyer South. Which one was it? The yellow one? I think it's the yellow one. We're a little bit in slowdown between, I think, the characters model standing over there, and we've got the helicopter sitting here, and this base a little bit laggy, so. I think it's the yellow one. I'll go back up to it and I'll check. There's the yellow container there. Alright. Tell it's noon when the cat feeder goes off. Let's check this one. Sorry, South. That's the one. Alright. Let's see. Where is it? Raised table. Okay. Big slowdown from that helicopter being here. I don't think I ever gripped these tires up, I'm not sure. Let's get away from that helicopter. Hopefully we get some frames here. Oh. I remember this thing was having some center of gravity issues too, so it needs to have gripped up tires. I don't think I've done that yet. So. I don't think they're, I get the complaints that the roads are just painted on. I get that, but it's also like, I think some people are driving ultra rambunctiously, and, they'll drive 90 miles an hour and they'll crash and they'll be like, oh my God, it's, can't drive on these roads. It's like, yeah, you don't drive 90 miles an hour on regular roads either. Like on a highway you do. There are no highways. Like this industrial frontier, you could say some of those areas are pretty well highways. But for a lot of it, it's just like you really don't, you know, you need to kind of drive like a normal person, and a lot of people just don't want to do that. They want to drive like a maniac and then be like, devs, fix the roads. It's like, well, what are they going to do? Like make everything a 7-lane highway everywhere so that you can drive 90 miles an hour when you shouldn't be, and like flatten them out so that you can, it's the Autobahn. Like, it's kind of unrealistic too, you know? You know, and a lot of people too, it's they don't have proper steering, they don't have proper stability systems on their cars, and so the car, like, they can't maintain, you know, direction properly, so part of it's that too, you know. You know, there are plenty of good cars that will, you know, you can drive reasonably fast. Like, what are we doing? We're doing 47. We're doing 50 miles an hour, okay? This would be ultra fast going through some, like, backcountry roads here. So we're doing 50 miles an hour in a truck, no problem, you know. That's a reasonable, realistic speed. It's just, you know, some people just want unrealistic things, unreasonable things. They want to go 150 miles an hour everywhere, and it's just, you can't do that. Yeah, like, you know, Rasp was saying, go 70 miles an hour on these roads. You know, you can go that speed, no problem on these roads. The roads are fine. It's just, I don't know. Some of these complaints, I'm like, I don't know what people are on about. All right, right turn here. Like, see, I could shift up a gear. You know, I don't think I XML grip the tires here. And now we're doing 64 miles an hour. You know, so this is what you'd be doing on the highway. You know, not on some backcountry roads, but you know, some people's impatience gets the hold of them, and they want to go unrealistic things. Like, look at this hill coming up. If I take that hill at 64, I should damage and blow up my vehicle. Like, that would happen. You'd absolutely destroy your axles jumping over that at 60-something miles an hour. You know, it's a blind hill. You should be slowing down for a blind hill anyways, you know. Yeah, I need to grip these tires up a little bit. But like, we're probably doing 60-something now. Yeah, we're doing 60-something miles an hour in a truck, you know, no problem. I really just don't understand, like, what those, I'm so sick of that friggin' flashlight. Binoculars I like. The flashlight is just like always in my hand. No, like I always switch over and it's in my hand. I'm like, why? Like, look at this hill here. Like, yeah, you gotta slow down for this hill or you're gonna be in deep shit. Yeah, it's a blind hill. We have a high center risk on this hill. You know, if you bash into that with the front of your car, you're gonna be in trouble. So what do? Slow down like a normal person. You know, that's how you should be taking this hill. You shouldn't be taking it like a maniac, you know? Especially if you got a container on you. You know, and then look, you got a sheer cliff over here right into the drink. Yeah, you want to drive, you know, drive like a normal person. That's the answer I got for a lot of those people. Or buy Industrial Frontier and you can have nice wide, you know, desert roads to drive on. There we go. Back up to 60 miles an hour again. Oh my god, the humanity of driving like a normal person. Would be cool to make a little container boat. I had my high-speed container boat, but I haven't gone back to that. You know, I'd rather take Tethys and take a few containers with me than... And then, like, that's the nice thing is once the autopilot gets in there, that can go sit on autopilot, and we literally grab the helicopter and go do missions, you know. So, not necessarily pleased too much with that skiff. It's not bad, but it's not, you know, great. It was a good test for outboard. I've been wanting to play with an outboard, so I kind of got a form factor for the outboard that I like. So that's good. see that was a blind hill. I couldn't see if it went left or right, so just slow down for it. And takes it fine. I think we go straight here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we go straight here. Yeah, we go straight all the way through. Okay. That's why, like, you know, you'll see all those comments, and then people are like, "The devs don't listen to us. We've been asking for better roads for years." It's like, yeah, they're probably saying these guys don't need better roads because they just need to learn to drive like normal people, you know. So it's like, you know, that's kind of the thing of it. It's like, what's wrong with this road? Like, you know, I get it. You want to just go smash vehicles, go play BeamNG or something, you know. It's like the point of this is to build them and then to like go do stuff with them. It's like. And hey, you crash your car, go get a tow truck and grab it, you know? But that's not the gameplay they want. They want to just download something in the workshop and bomb around, and, you know, great. But that's not the point of the game, and if you want to do that, great, but, you know, you can't expect the game to be tailored to your use case, which is not what the game's about, you know? It's why... Oh, shit, watch this. Oh, there we go. That's an ugly one. It's like, you know, that's why when people say, oh, the devs should listen to the majority of the community. No, they have a vision for the game. They should do what they want for the game. You know, it's like when people are like, what is this game now with space and everything else? It's the game the devs are making. It's the game the community voted for. So, you know, if you don't like the game, that's fine. Go play something else, you know? There are plenty of games that have left me behind and I've left behind, and just move on to something else, man. If this is what the game is. It's about engineering and building and then using your vehicles. And a lot of people just, they don't even build in the game. And it's like, that's the point of the game, guys. You know? You know, like, we're going 80 miles an hour. Like, 80 miles an hour. You know, the problem is probably... if they built a car, they didn't put a transmission. Like, I saw it a couple times this week. People are literally like, they will not control their engine RPS. They will just control the clutch because they don't know how to do any gearing. So they have it running at 50 RPS, and they just engage the clutch. And it's going to, you know, the car is going to spin tires the whole time, which is going to make it greasy. And I understand they don't understand the concepts, but instead of... you know, going to Reddit all day and complain about it, just go watch some tutorials and build a car that works, you know? Build a car that has some stability, you know, and learn how to build a modular engine, a transmission that behaves correctly. And if you're in the right gear, most of the time, the wheels are not going to spin. Like, some people they'll have their wheels spinning constantly. That means you're not in the right gear. This is in the right gear, the wheels aren't spinning constantly, you know? Like, that just did a jump, so the wheels changed speed and then smoked, and now they're good again, you know? What is that up there? Some sort of animal that I'm trying not to pay too much attention to as I come up to a danger. This section here, I think, does teeter on the side of the train tracks. Yeah, so I gotta be careful of this section of road here. So I'm gonna downshift, and I'm gonna slow down. Drive like a normal person so we don't end up on the railroad tracks and then... have to go get a wrecker or a crane or something to get us back up, you know? You know, I kind of treat it like I would in real life. If it's going to be a dangerous situation, I don't want to wreck my vehicle, so I try to take it easy, you know? Like, we're going 80 miles an hour now coming in through the middle of a town, you know? You don't do that IRL, you know, but it's still possible. There's a cow. Let's not hit the cow. Was that our turn? I don't think it is. Is it? No. Okay, it's up here. I don't even know what that turn is. What is that turn there? Oh, it goes to the little houses there. Okay, that's the road for the houses. There's another murr cow. Murr. Feel like I'm going way too fast here. I'm going like 70, so of course I can't make my turn. I'm going 70 miles an hour. Pig. When did we get pigs? Awesome. I haven't noticed pigs. Pigs, great. Alright, good. So let's go dump this container off. $4 grand, baby. Alright, good enough for government work. Let's go dump it right here. Let's find ourselves a container. We'll head back. I can't get rid of the truck here, so I need to go back to get rid of the truck. So 4,000s are what we're looking at so far. 4,000s here, people. 4,006. 8. What is that? JSI. BBG. That's a good one for BBG. 3. So any of the 4s for Sawyer North are good. What are you? Okay. Let's see. Which one was a 4? We have to be able to get to it as well. Probably this one. Yeah, let's take this one. 143 minutes, so that's good. Let's take that one. Okay. Watch this water here. I didn't realize it slopes down like it does. I thought it was flat terrain. What's going on here? Switched into reverse. Thought I did. Thought I'd switched into reverse. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I definitely need to upgrip these tires. I don't think I ever got to that. This thing didn't get finished because I just went and was watching everybody else's stuff building the challenge. I never really finished it myself. Worked on it as an example and then never finished it. So good to figure out what it needs. Trying to see it in the mirror. There we go. Okay, right there. All right. There we go. All right. Keep clicking the wrong button to stop because I want to put it at that angle. You match the angle, then you bring it up. And then once it's over 50-50 on the weight, you then drop it down. Okay. Has a really long wheelbase. Takes a little bit of a turn to get us turned around here. Some of these straight backs, like you can do a tighter turn with a tractor trailer a lot of times than you can with straight back because the wheelbase is so long on the straight backs. Up, up, don't hit it. Yeah, I knew it was going to be close on that one. There we go. Okay. Going a little bit fast for that. Temp does not go above like 42 degrees. It's pretty low. I don't think this is converted, so whatever it is. We're like at 8. Oh, don't hit the pig. Like we're going 60 miles an hour here. So, unrealistically fast. Yeah, I definitely don't think I up-gripped the tires. I'll check them. Be good as I go through builds to kind of fix them up a little bit. Bit by Soaring North goes over the hill. Yeah, that edge is scary. They need to put a guardrail in. Guardrail would be helpful. At least give you something to bounce off of. Yep, here we are. The scary section. It's pretty friggin' hairy. Like, so we can barely see the road turns to the right there. So it's like, you don't want to get ahead of yourself too much. You know, there's the saying you don't want to go faster than what you can see. So, if I can't see the road ahead, I have to assume that it stops. I have to assume that there is something in the road, that there could be a rock in the road, a car stopped. That's how, why a lot of professional drivers, don't get in accidents, especially as often as civilians, is the, like I can't see over that hill. So I'm not going to go bombing over that hill at max speed because I don't know, there could be an animal there could be a car. It could stop, it could go right in the water, I have no clue. So you kind of assume that, the worst, and then you slow down, and you only go as fast as you can see. So like right now, I'm starting to crest the hill. I can start to see over the hill. And okay, good. So it's clear from where I can see. Okay, it's still clear. Okay, good. We can speed up again. So it's like, and you definitely have to take with a grain of salt some of the complaints about these things, like, the roads being undrivable, because it could literally be from an 8-year-old who has never touched a car before. And if they had, driven a car, they might realize, yeah, that's pretty insanity. So, like, we're going 80 miles an hour right now. It looks slow, There's not a lot of reference points. The vehicles are a little bit oversized. The smaller road and the big truck sitting up tall helps give you a little bit of a feeling of speed, but you don't get it as much as you would IRL, so you kind of have to just go by the numbers and realize that 80 is fast, and it's going to take you a long time to slow down. Trying to fix OBS, and I cannot see over the hill, so I'm going to wait. Alright, there we go. I can see over the hill now, so I'm going to go ahead and check on OBS. Okay, good. Good. Set up well. This transmission could use a little bit of a work, but we'll see what happens after I grip up the wheels, see if gear ratios are still good. They should be good. I think this was based off of the Eaton 6-speed. Holy Jesus, what is this? Oh, it looked worse than it was. The shadowing made it look like it went up really hard, so I cut left and I didn't need to. It was just the shadowing. That one looked a little scary from that angle. That's like, drive 80 miles an hour in a truck with a container in the back, which makes it pretty top heavy and still not have any issues. Show you guys the new approach plates. Maybe we'll switch over to the custom game again and we'll go fly one. I've got all 4 of them done for the NDBs, so. So one of them, the one where you come in and land on runway 3, you have to go over Mount Goldblum, which is the highest point, so that is. You have to stay up a little bit higher there. Alright, can't see over this hill, so we're going to slow down at the top of the hill again. Go as fast as we can see. I think that was my flashlight on the ground there. It finally fell out of the truck. Alright, so there we can see again. Alright. This is a kind of a cool section here. Kind of narrow, a little bit hilly. Alright, this one I'm going to the right here. Can't really see over the hill, so I'm going to slow down. There we go, good. Alright, I'm going to go to the right here. I would like them to, you know, if they do like a farming update, it would be kind of cool if they add some stuff to the south on this island. That would be, I think, you know, it'd be nice to have some ranches down on the industrial frontier, but, you know, they definitely need to add something here. So there's a bunch of the area to the south, there's nothing down there, so there's really no POIs or reasons to do that. A logistics and industry add-on would be nice, or not add-on, update would be nice to add. So, like, say some factories. So, for example, doing forestry would be kind of cool. Like, they could probably do it where, like, if you you know, because we can knock over the trees. So one thing they could do is, you know, you could essentially do a chainsaw that knocks over the tree. You know, so do the same thing as if you bumped into it, knock the tree over, and then if you hold the chainsaw on the tree, it cuts all the limbs off, and it changes its state to just be a trunk, just be, you know, a trunk of the tree. And then you would, you know, you can pick them up with magulls or whatever, and then bring them and sell them. You know, that'd be kind of cool. You know, do some more with the metal. For example, instead of just selling the metal, like for example, you bring steel to a, you know, another place, and you can make I-beams. I-beams would spawn, and they would be, you know, long, and you'd have to put them on the back of a truck. You could do coils of sheet steel that would be very heavy and have to go on the back of a truck. You know, that sort of stuff would be really cool. You know, go to the quarry. They have some quarries. They go back to kind of the old school. Oh, I fell out of my seat. We could drill. They could add another ore, which would be stone. And you could drill, bring it to the cement factory, bring it to the brick factory, you know, and then you come out with pallets of bricks, pallets of stone would be kind of cool, you know, or that would be kind of a neat thing to do. Did I make a wrong turn here? No, I'm good. Okay. Just don't recognize it backwards. A little bit greasy, but we're also, like I said, we're going 70 miles an hour here, so it should be sliding all over the road, going 70 miles an hour, doing hairpin turns. Alright, there we are. Yeah, that didn't take all that long to go down and back. We drove a good portion across the continent. You know, more reasons to go from POI to POI, I think would be helpful. Because, like, this is, like, right now, this gave me something to do where, like, you know, I couldn't despawn this truck down there. So it gave me the incentive to go back up here to Soaring North. And then it would be like, I have no real reason to drive to Harrison. It would be nice to have a reason to drive to Harrison, for example, you know. So, like, if you had things where, for example, you know, I talked about putting a container port up at Tajin. It would make sense for me to take a container for Tajin and bring it via truck to the airport. And so that would give me a reason to go from here to the airport to then put something on a plane. You know, but unfortunately, you know, because BVG, I have to have a VTOL, which I could use the Minky there. That could be kind of fun to do again, but we could do that, you know, at some point. I want to test the Minky out, make sure everything is working fine. All right, then we'll put this all the way up, drop it low. Oh, there we go, pretty good there. Yeah, like, let's look at the map a little with Theorycraft, a little with some of the stuff. like so for I'll do a video on logistics at some point, but like talking logistics, that's the cool thing with a building game is you're building the different machines. So you need to build forklifts, you need to build cranes, you need to build all sorts of things to load up your vehicles. You need to build trucks, you need to build trains, Jesus Christ, if I could speak. Airplanes, helicopters. There's way too much of a helicopter meta in this game where like everything is better with a helicopter, and that sucks. Everything should be viable, and right now it isn't. So like for example, if you had a smaller container that was suited for airplanes, you could have it. You could still put it on vehicles. If you wanted, you could do multiples on vehicles, and then you can also, you could put multiples on vehicles, or what you could do is you could put them on the truck, like we would IRL. We put air cans on a truck to bring them from the facility to the airport, and then you come down here, and then you load them on an airplane, and then you fly them up to Tajin, and you put a container port right here. You unload the airplane, you drive them right here. Bingo, sold. Grab it a couple more, put them in your airplane, boom, fly off. BVG is kind of silly. Some of this is silly to me. It's like having the rail line here. Like how many? I don't want to poo-poo on the train community, but it's like how many people are really training containers up to BVG? Like probably not a huge number, and not that it matters, but that makes this base pretty limited use, where I don't think they should take it away, but add a Tajin place here. Add a place at Tajin so that you can put it on airplanes and fly from FJ to here, or you move it from Soaring North to Harrison or O'Neill, fly it here. That would give it some real utility. And then by doing airport cargo containers, so there would be certain cargo containers for planes, they would be like my pallets. They'd be small for airport. They'd be valuable, because they're you spend a lot of money on an airplane. So you grab them, you put them on the, you put them on your plane, you fly them from Tajin to Ender, and then there's a couple here. And then same thing, just have them sitting at the airports, right? That would make perfect sense. And it would be something cool to do. Now airplanes would be very viable, as a cargo, as something for cargo. And you could make some cool pallets. That's like a pallet of generators or a pallet of this, and it'd be mostly cosmetic. And you just have the pallet, and then like sometimes you have air cans full of other stuff. I think that would be really cool, and it would give airplanes some use. Unfortunately, airplanes have almost no use, and it sucks. Read this. Yep, yeah, the devs are listening to the majority, and to a certain extent that they should. The poll came out, they asked people what they wanted, and they've been given it. I keep hearing this nonsense from some of the same characters of, the devs are listening to us for a change. They have been following the poll almost one by one, and the only real deviations are either it can't happen or unlikely to be able to happen, or that it's something small that is for a minor update. So it came out first because it took them 2 days, where something else could take them literally a year. Like if you look at the poll here, and every time somebody says, nobody wanted space, this is what they get from me, is the poll. Sitting right here. People wanted space more than they wanted steam engines, compressed air, fishing, runway lights, decorative components, FLIR. They wanted it more than all of this. And they certainly wanted it more than no more features, just bug fixes, by a large margin. So we got nuclear reactors was number one. Weapons, we got weapons. We got sales, they said they worked on, and they would like to come back to it potentially. Natural disasters, we've got. Ships, planes, and helicopters, we've got. Cooperative building, I don't know if it's going to be possible. But, if it's not in, likely it's either a lot of work or it's not possible. Arctic ice break, and I've talked about that one before, that we had ice chunks, floating ice chunks. And what happened? The multiplayer community cried and whined that, oh my god, my performance. So they could have put them on a tick switch so you can shut them off. But again, like I was playing a single player game, never had an issue with the ice issues. But again, the game's gonna have a limit. where certain things just aren't going to be able to be in there. And the devs thought that the ice breaking, or the ice particles, let's put it that way, were too much. Now you have to imagine Arctic ice breaking. Do we think that's possible? Do we think it's possible to put a ship, bang it into collisions, you somehow have to coat it so the ship doesn't get damaged, right? So do you put in harder hull blocks? What do you do so that when you hit ice, it doesn't break the hull? So do you make ice, like, essentially not cause damage? And then what happens if two blocks glitch into each other? We know that it causes really weird physics. So maybe they tested it, and they were like, yeah, like 1 out of 20 attempts, you get a piece of ice glitches into your hull and causes problems. So you say, you know what? Just not possible. We got space. We got compressed air at the same time. We've got steam engines. We just got the start of fishing. Runway lights have been in. Not just a decorative component pass we have not got. I'd like to see that. FLIR thermal cameras. I don't know what the point of that is, but we have night vision, which acts almost like FLIR. Stormworks are in. Component modding. Don't even know what that's all about. No weapons. That's in opposition to this, so that one's crossed out because they're in opposition. Pathfind API. No clue. Kraken is in. So, like, when people say that the devs aren't listening to the community, they followed exactly what the community voted for. You often hear that from people who, 1, didn't bother voting, or 2, they have some conspiracy theory that, oh my god, the devs just picked the ones they wanted. Oh, they inflated the numbers, and oh my god, they had bots do it. And it's like, or maybe you're not as maybe your ideas are not as popular as you think they are. That's that's the one that a lot of people don't want to do. It's like when people complain after election, oh, we're the silent majority. No, you're not. 1, you're very loud because we hear you, and 2, you're not the majority. And that's what I think some of that is. But the devs are listening, whether, there's certain things I'm not interested in at all, but that's what people voted for. So it's like, doesn't matter if I'm not interested in it because that's what people voted for, And they could just say, hey, we don't want your input. We're going to make the game we're going to make and play it if you like it. Don't if you don't. That's what, Escape from Tarkov does all the time. But they've chosen to listen to the community, and they're following it, Just because, like, something that you may want doesn't get put in there doesn't mean they're not listening, But you see it. You literally see it every week, and it's getting tiring. I'm having steering problems here. Right on the railroad tracks. There's something up with the railroad tracks. It's on the railroad tracks. This does not want to steer. So watch, see if we come off the railroad tracks and it starts to steer. Nope. Okay. Okay, so now we can steer. But something with the railroad tracks. It does not like steering on railroad tracks. I wonder if it's that flat plate that's slippery. See, like, I'm already having slipper issues here, getting close to the railroad tracks. Yeah, so I wonder if it's something to do with the train. See how it's screwing up my steering because I'm on the railroad tracks. So I wonder if it's trying to, you know what I bet it is? It's probably the way it magnets train wheels to the tracks. It's trying to pull my truck towards them. I bet you that's what's happening. Right, so let's see. Let's save this here. Let's see what it is. Container. Small container class B. Let's check and see if I gripped up the tires on this. So I'm curious if I did. All right, let's see. All right, small container class B. Let's see. Let's look for grip. I'll bring the screen up once I get it going here. All right, I don't think I did. The first one that came up was gripper. Grip, gripper, gripper release. Yeah, so it's all gripper, gripper, gripper. Oh, grip factor right here. So I did not change the grip factor. Okay. So I'm going to copy grip factor 0.99. And I'm going to do, let's do find. All right, grip factor 0.99, find all in current document. Okay, so let's see. 6 hits. Okay, so we have 6 wheels, 6 hits. That means that we have all tires ready to be fixed. So do F, and then let's go to, let's just do 2, because I had no grip on there, so let's do 2. And then I want to, actually I want to go to, shit, I didn't mean to do that. That's fine. Let's do replace, and what we want to do is, so this is why it got screwed up, is I never saved it when I thought I did the gripping. So we'll do this, and then we'll go like this, and then we'll change the 0.99 to a 2. And we'll replace all. Okay, and so that should be good. So we're going to go back to find, and we'll just change this to 2. All right, and we'll find all in current document, and we have 6 hits. So 6 hits, they've all been changed, so this can be saved. All right, good. So that is better. Let's see, what's this message here? Some announcement in 454's channel. Why am I getting notifications from that? I'll mute them all out. Some sort of challenge or something, maybe? I don't know. Okay. Let's go ahead and test this out. No, don't do that, you son of a bitch. Open it up. There we go. Alright, so this should be gripped up now. I like the way the cab came out on this. So I thought I gripped the tires up, and I had not, so no wonder it was a little bit slippery. Read some of this chat. Yep. Yep, you know, and I've watched all these videos of, like, I watch a lot of motorcycle videos of people reviewing them. A lot of them are in the UK, and it's like, that's what the roads look like in the UK. You know, it's supposed to be Scotland, and that's what the roads look like in the UK. You know, and it's, you know, it's kind of nice, you know, and they're different. Alright, so steer's much better now with up-grip tires. I would like them just to, like, let the slider... See, why are we fucking doing this now? Let's see if it's the railroad tracks. What is that? Oh, remember this was having that issue with, like, phantom physics doing something? Let me see. I was having a phantom physics issue with this. That's what that was. There we go. It's near the railroad tracks, though. Every time it balls us up near the railroad tracks. Get away from the railroad tracks and do some driving. So, like, that's away from the railroad tracks. It's working fine. We haven't had any issues, so I'm curious if it's whatever like solidifies the train wheels to the tracks is trying to attract something on my vehicle. Which wouldn't surprise me if that was part of the way it did it. Like, it magnets it on, because it's like the train track's trying to grab me. Like, here I'm... Yeah, I don't know, man. There was some balance issues with this. Because it has 6 tires, it could be terrain, too, with how it picks it up. Because normally I do dualies, but this has singles on it because I didn't want to go 5s on it. Like, if we had some innate dualies, that would be nice. I did have to screw with the balance on this, but that is behaving better with some up-grip tires, so. I'll catch up with chat in a second here. It just did that jumpy bullshit again. I have to look at what it's doing some phantom physics. If you remember when I was building this, I was having some of these issues, so. Apparently it's still having the issues. We need to cut a wide enough turn so I can get in and just put it away. I'll work on this sometime later. I had to put a bunch of weight blocks in, if you remember, to get it to, because it's essentially, it's taking the mass off of the steer axles. And so it's like they're floating in the air because they have those two axles in the back. And so it's almost like floating. And then when it has the container on it, it helps to push it into the ground. So might need to just up... I don't want to lose the fuel either. So I'm trying to see if I can get it in there. If not, I'll just... Here, fuck it. I'm not interested. Spent all day doing this, so... But those are my design issues. That's not a game issue. It's a design issue. I think it is just a vehicle. Alright. Great catch up on chat. Spin tires. Yeah, like down here, when people are talking about the bottom half of Sawyer, this is what we're talking about, is down here. Like, there's no real reason to go down here, and they could add some cool stuff down here. Like, even if they added, like, another, like, small fishing village with... Like, that's kind of a missed opportunity, I think, for them, is, like, they added all these fish sell points. They could have put in a fishing village, like, in here. They could have put in, you know, something over here. I would like to see them do... Like, they could do the farming down here. And I think that would, you know, if they do farming. But they could do some logistics, add some area, some, like, warehouses and stuff down here. Because, like, this is just, like, there's no reason to come down here. So just, like, some more POIs down here to kind of give you a reason to venture down would be kind of, be good. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna execute all of them to see why they're still in the game. Because I'm afraid that with them like that in the game, it's not going to want to despawn the chunks. And we're going to run into problems. So, everybody can look away if need be. Let's see. Good night, sweet princess. Can I not kill them? How do I kick them? Is there a way to kick them? They shouldn't be in the game here. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna get them out. I can't interact with them, can I? No. Why are they stuck in my game? Can't kill them. Interesting. Let's see. Let's see. Allow player names. Clear all vehicles. Clear all unlockable properties. Spawn meteor kraken. Is there a way to boot these people? I don't know. I don't do much multiplayer, so I'm trying to boot them. Player damage. That's why. Okay. No, maybe not. So I cannot get them out of the game. I did make a save, I think, before I started screwing around with that, but I'll see what I can do to get rid of them. But here, let's save this today anyway, and then I will we'll go ahead and we'll load the custom game. I'll go fly a couple approaches. All right, let's read some more chat. Yeah, login update would be cool. Yeah, there's a fishing village up at the Arctic that they didn't put a fishing thing there. Fish market, processing plant. I'm interested in see what they say in the Q&A. No, they really couldn't have done without the space update. The space update was on the poll. The community asked for it, and they committed to give the community what they voted for. So they couldn't have done without it, you know? Even though I'm not a huge fan of the space update, I'm not interested in the space DLC really as gameplay. They asked the community what they wanted, the community voted for what they wanted, and the devs gave the community what they wanted. You know, that's exactly what they did. You know, and so it's, you know, they shouldn't have skipped it, you know. And they worked years on it, you know, so the community voted for it, they worked years on it, you know. Just the thing of it is, not every update's going to be for every person. You know, the people were asking for space every week. There were dozens of people always asking for space. You know, people wanted it. People voted for it. You know, and they gave the people what some of the people wanted, what they voted for. You know, it doesn't always mean that, you know, you're going to like what other people voted for, you know. But they gave people what they had asked for, you know. No, that's not it. Power connect. Bye. You know, there's a big balancing issue where you have the multiplayer community of people with potatoes. Like, we played multiplayer the other day. You know, I have this issue, I can't get rid of these people. But, you know, when we played, we didn't have any lag. We didn't have any real issues at all. You know, like, Citrus couldn't spearfish because he wasn't the host, but he's also thousands of miles away from me hosting the game, and so he still was able to play fine. And you know, we had no issues in multiplayer, but the devs also have to worry about what is it the game like for people in you know, what's the game like for people in, if I can get a thought out of my head, what's the game like for people playing the big server multiplayer who have potato computers? And that's a big group of people who have absolutely horrific computers, have horrific internet, and, you know, there's no limit, as far as I know, on the multiplayer servers of, oh, you live 4,000 miles away from where the server is? Oh, you can't join. Like, Tarkov has that. If I try to go on a server that's too far from where I am, it boots me for ping. You know, so, like, for Tarkov, it says, nope, you can't come here. You're 4,000 miles away. Go pick one of the 20 servers, or, you know, one of the 5 server options you have in your country. You know, and so that's a reasonable kind of thing, too, you know. So they have to worry about that, unfortunately, which, like, if this was a single-player only game, like, they could do so much more stuff. But, you know, a bunch of the community would hate that because they like playing with their friends. So it's, you know, we have to do compromises, you know. Yeah, but it's factories and stuff. Your boat's out. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the giant train across the sea. You know, I'm not a huge fan of that. Frankly, I would like to see that gone. But they're not going to make huge changes like that. One, because the people who use it, you know, would be pissed off. And two, you know, I don't think they delete features. Like, people are going to complain. Oh, you know, even the people who don't play the game anymore who show up and complain every week, they're going to be like, oh, they're taking away features, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you know, so they don't want to do that. I would love them to get rid of it. You know, it would have been great if they said, hey, with Industrial Frontier, we added X number of kilometers of track, and so for that reason, we're going to remove the overwater train, you know, and you have to take a boat or an airplane up there for container handling. But, you know, I don't think they're ever going to do that. Why aren't pictures allowed in the post? I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know why you're trying to put pictures in, though. Just put the link. I don't know why it's doing that now, though. Let me check it. Let me see what it does. Stand by. Let's see. Let me see what the permissions are. Maybe there's a permission for it. Embed links. Embed links should be on. Alright, let's see if that fixes it. I'll copy somebody's thing and see if it pops up. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, that fixed it. So that fixed it, Citrus. I changed some options. When I shut down the channel, I changed the options to keep people out of there. So it should do it now, though. But I see what you're saying. What's my perfect base is FJ. I like FJ best. Yeah, like Daniel K is saying, "Oh my God, the devs just picked what they wanted. They should. It's their game." You know. They talk about like like a car built by committee and how terrible that car is. Yeah, because it's like a committee is not good to build a car. You need like kind of an overarching, you need one person to kind of like come up with the idea and then have a team work on it. You can't have like 9,000 people involved. It turns into an absolute disastrous mess. All right, let's look at we're gonna do the NDB 3. Okay, so here's the NDB 3 into military. So let's see how big I can make it. So like if we look at the plan view here, that's a 10-mile final. Okay, so it goes right over here, right? That's Mount Goldblum. Let's see if I can see it. You can't see it over there, but it goes over Mount Goldblum, and that is a really tall mountain. That's 1,450 feet, which is high for the game. Not in real life, but and so we're going to be going to over Mount Goldblum on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to take off out FJ. We're going to head directly to military. We're going to do a procedure turn around and head outbound. So we'll get planned on that. So let me set up. I don't know what the runway heading is here. 3,000. Altitude hold is pre-selected. Heading hold is pre-selected. All right, let's go ahead and take off. So nope, we don't need ice. We need gens on, and then windshield heat should come on for takeoff. Windshield heat is to protect you from, it's to make the windshield more resilient to strikes. If you were to hit a bird or hit a rock or something, if the windshield gets too cold, it'll be brittle if it gets hit. So you actually turn windshield heat on to protect it. All right, airspeed's alive. I need to put a steering stability on the nose wheel here. 80 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate. What heading are we on? Actually, we'll go right to nav. So autopilot's on. And we're going to turn direct to... speed up here. We'll turn direct to military. Alright, flaps are going up. Flap speed should be like 220, I think. Alright, I'll leave the clouds on. I'll leave the fog down a little bit like this. Let me check my visibility, make sure that didn't get dicked with. View distance, okay, that's good. All that good, all that good. Yep, that's good. Okay. Alright, so I just had to have the approach plate up. I'm going to move it over. So I'll leave the approach plate up for you guys to see on the left there. So we're headed right towards it. Now I need to change the bank angles, too limited on this, so I need to change it. I get you, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the ocean train. I think I wonder if they just did it because they're like, oh, we need more train tracks, I don't think it's a great idea, though, the ocean train. Not a big fan. Not a big fan at all. All right, I can actually just use OBS. I don't have to use the other one. All right, so 359, we're currently headed toward, no, we're not. Let's head toward the military base. Go. All right, so there we're going right to military base here. It's 9.8 miles away, and we'll be there in 2.6. We'll actually speed up. We'll go up to 250. So we can go 250 knots under 10,000 feet. All right, so 250 under 10. We're actually in the fog a little bit here, which is nice. We'll stick with this fog level. Let's go ahead, and that's actually not bad. Let's go ahead and we'll override weather. We'll leave it on like that. We'll override the time. All right, so that's good. That's friggin' flashlight and binoculars. All right, so we're going to be there in 1.8 minutes. If we look at the approach plate, we're going to go hit the approach fix, which is the ADF. We're going to make a right turn. And we're going to turn direct back to the fix, and we're going to head out on the 211 heading. So I'm going to switch to, let's see, I'll get close, so I'll put in 359 in here. 359. 359. Okay. So we're pretty much going directly north to it. Let's look at the map view here. I'll put that on so you can see it. All right, so here we are. We're coming straight up to it now. We're gonna go. We're gonna hit the. We're gonna go over the NDB. We're gonna go straight up for about a minute, and then we're gonna take a right turn, and we're gonna come back to it, and then we're gonna go on the 211 course out, which will follow that runway heading backwards. We're gonna go out to here. We're gonna turn to the right, turn back to the left, and then follow the course inbound. And then once we get within 5 nautical miles, we can descend from 3,000 down to 752 to come in. So. All right, so we're currently 0.6, so a half a minute out, 2.1 nautical miles away. And we'll head out here for about a minute. So currently, we'll slow down to 200 knots. All right, let's slow down to 200 knots. All right, there's 200 knots. I'll put in a notch of flaps. Notch of flaps is in. All right, and so we're crossing right now. So we're going about, whoops, stop, shit. Heading, hold, please, please, please. What's it doing? Why are you not following the heading hold? I set the heading hold. Why? Oh, because it's supposed to be 359, you dickhead. That'll be why. Alright, so let's go out for about a minute here. So we want to go out for about a minute, so we're doing a little over 3 miles a minute. Right, so we can either do it by time or we can do it by distance. So we know we're doing 3 and change, so 3.3. So if we're doing 3 miles per minute, 1 minute, we should be at 3.3 miles. So we're looking at the distance here. Once the distance is about 3.3, we know we're good. So let me make sure I actually type the right shit in. All right, so we want to put in at 3.3, I'm going to make a right-hand turn. All right, and so we're going to go ahead and put in, so I'm going to start a right-hand turn. We'll do 030, and then we'll do the reciprocal. So I just want to start the turn. Okay. So we're going to start making sure the plane goes right first. And then now that we're going right, I'm going to go ahead and I'll put in a 180. All right, and there it's going to go. So notice we've come up, we've hit the fix. Now, because this is a jet and it's moving fast, you know, that was 3.3 miles went really fast. All right, so I put in this 180 heading, but we're going to head right back to the fix here. So notice the time went funky, and that's because we're perpendicular to it. So we're neither going closer or farther away from it. All right, so my guess was 180. You see now we're up around 187. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to nav again, take off heading hold, and I'm going to now pre-select my heading for 211, which is the outbound course. Okay. And so I need this to, it's actually, we're turning our right. I'm gonna have to goose it probably. All right, I gotta goose the turn. Let's goose the turn here. Goose it just a little bit here. Okay, that was just a little bit of a goose there to get it to move a little bit faster on course. We're doing all right. So we're 2.5 nautical miles, so we're coming back south. We're gonna cross the fix again. And see how it says 206? We want, as soon as we hit the fix, we're going to go on the 211. So we're going to turn, and then we want this to say 031 behind us. All right, so we're 1.1 nautical miles away. Again, we're doing 3 miles a minute, so about a third, you know. All right, so we're coming up close to it here. 0.7 and heading hold. All right, so now heading hold is going to turn us to 211. All right, now watch. This will flip as we go past it. Bingo, it's going to go crazy as we go over it. And then it flips. Okay. So this should be pretty close to, we want that to read 031. So we're just going to let it settle and make sure it's settled. All right, see, it's still dropping. That's good. Might need to go, let's see, if I go to the right. Okay, so I want it to drop another degree here. So what I'm going to do is put in a little correction. So we'll do 215. And so I'm going to head a little bit more westerly to try to get that to drop to 031. You see, did I do a full? I didn't do a full. I didn't do all my lights. Let's turn lights on. Logo. Okay. Okay. Let's actually do 205. I went the wrong direction here. I'm trying to think. Everything works backwards on this, so I need to turn the other direction. So make very small corrections. I don't need huge corrections here. See, the number dropped again, so I went the wrong direction. I went west instead of east. Because everything's backwards on an ADF, so it's kind of a pain in the ass a little bit. So we're on a 205 heading. We're supposed to be on a 211 now. We can switch. So see how the number dropped to 031? As soon as we get it to drop, we can go back on the heading we want. There's the volcano. So if we're in the weather, we could not see this. So that's why we're up here. We need to be 1,000 feet above the highest terrain, which is that volcano. So that's why we're up here. Okay, we're looking for 10 nautical miles. We're only at 6. We're out on the 031, so we're on course. So we're actually riding that line. That we're on that black line going down to the southeast, southwest rather. All right, we're waiting for it to be 10. Now at 10, we're going to turn. Let me see if I can read 256. Yep, right turn 256 as soon as we get there. So as soon as we hit 10, we're going to turn right to 256. So just buying time now. I'm just going to refresh chat, make sure it's working. All right, so we have 1 mile left. So we're still doing about you know, say 3.3 miles per minute. So you know, we're somewhere in that neighborhood. So what I'm going to do here is at 10 nautical miles, we're going to turn to 256. So 256, and we're going to turn. And so we can't use that the distance anymore. So we have to time on this one. So as soon as I roll out, I'm going to start my timer. So I have a minute timer. As soon as we roll out on that 256, it's a little bit slow. I need to speed this turn up on the heading hold. The heading hold's a little bit anemic. It's slow. It should be standard rate. I need to increase the bank angle. It's all done on bank angle. 256 timer's fucking Jesus. I just I pressed the start button and it completely deleted the timer. All right, good. So we're going. The cool thing is, like on the Embraer, you had it on the yoke, so you would just click it on the handle as you were flying with your hand. You click it, and then you double click it, and it will reset it. So you can do all your timing on that. All right, so we're gonna go out for a minute. This just buys us time. So if you look at the bottom there, you have that loop. We're currently heading west on the 256. Then we're gonna flip around and we're gonna head east. All right, so let's see what my timer's doing here. We got 20 seconds left. you know, you can come back early if you want, but you're just making it more stressful yourself, taking more time. You're giving yourself less time, and so it's more stressful to do that. So it's better just to wait. So. Right, 2 seconds. Here we go. So we want to do the reciprocal, and so what we're going to do is we're going to turn 180. So we force it to go south. So we're going to force the plane to go south. Okay. Now, once we're going south, we can then put in the 076. So 076. All right, that's forced in there now. And it's going to turn us around. All right, so now what we're doing is this number, if you notice, is bigger than 31. We're heading in on the 031 course inbound. So as this number will drop as we get closer and closer. Notice it's dropping. It went from 4.4 to 4.3. So as we start to get closer, it's going to get closer to 3.1. Now we have 45 degrees to turn. And so we want to anticipate this. And at a half a mile, when this light goes off, I'm going to put in the 031. And we'll see if that's fast enough. Notice, time's going crazy. That means we're perpendicular to the course. All right, watch the number. It's going to keep dropping. 039. 038. So we won't get the distance on this, but we'll get close. So I'm going to do it within 5 degrees. Actually, we'll start now. I can always fix it later. So let's go ahead and we'll turn to 031. There we go. So we're still dropping. If I get to 031 and the number has not reached 3.1, I need to go to, say, 040. If the number is past 031, if we're lower than 031, I have to come back and I have to go less than 031. So we're actually doing all right. We might have to turn a little bit more, so I'm watching it the whole time. So we're only about, what are we, about 10 degrees off now. And we're still not to 3.1. So what I'm going to do is pause this at 035. All right, so 035, so I'm stopping us at 035 because we have not reached 3.1 yet. So I cut in too early. So I've caught it early, and now that I've caught it early, I've got a 4-degree correction into the east. All right, and this shall eventually drop to 031. When it drops to 031, I will go to 031. But currently we have a 4-degree correction to the east in there. All right, so just wait. You know, a lot of new students, new instrument students, they will rush it and they'll be like, "Oh, let's put in a 10-degree correction. Oh, it still didn't drop. Let's put in a 15." It's like, dude, if you looked at it, you're really close to being on course. Like, you are very close to being on course. And so there's no point in super duper rushing it. Like that right there is 4-degree correction. Like, let's put one more in, 3.6. Let's make it a 5-degree correction. All right, like that's how. There it is, right there. See, we didn't even need that. You know, it's just patience. That's something that new students, they'll get flabbergasted with and they get frustrated. And so you got to be like, just chill out, dude. You know, so if this number drops to 3.1, we need to go to the left, of course, and get it to go back up. All right, so the next thing we're looking for here is 5 nautical miles. 5 nautical miles, we're going to descend down. And so if we look outside, the reason why on this approach we don't descend at 10 is because of Mount Goldblum. So we're coming over the southern area. That southern area we're talking about doesn't have anything. We're going to be coming over Mount Goldblum here. Let's go ahead and look at it real quick. So what are you on, 24% fog? So there's Mount Goldblum. The reason we don't descend is we have mountains. So if we descended down to 700 feet, we'd smash into the mountains. So now, this is what it looks like on an instrument condition day. That's what it looks like in the airplane. You don't see anything. All right, so now imagine crashing in the mountains, right? You don't want to do that. So you have to follow the altitudes on the chart. We'll go to 35% fog. We'll even bang it up some more. Like, we barely see the mountain as we go over it. All right, so on this particular chart, this one's a little different. We have to wait till 5 nautical miles to descend, but what we can do is get set up for landing. So gear is coming down. Flaps are coming in. All right, approach lights and landing lights, we've been cleared to land. We're going to slow down. So we're getting established. We want to be established. We want to be configured by 1,000 feet. And because we're going to be descending here at 5, we're at 5.6. And if we look, the reason I made it 5.6, look, it clears all the mountains. That's why it's at 5 miles. So once we hit 5 miles, we know that we've cleared all the mountains, and we're not going to hit any mountains. So there's 5. Let's go down to 752. So somebody was asking, like, oh, shouldn't it be 200 feet? No. With modern GPS systems, they pretty much don't do these anymore, and they treat them as ILSs. Yes, a precision approach, you go down to 200 feet. Non-precision, you don't. Now, the standard is, I believe, 500 feet above touchdown zone elevation. So why is it higher? Likely for noise abatement or obstacles. So there's a couple reasons. One, if there's an obstacle in the way, like say a cell phone tower. Okay, so say the number has gone up to 3.2, so I need to put in a bigger correction. So we'll do, let's do 3.3. I need to correct my course a little bit to the east. So we're correcting a couple degrees, that's it. And we're trying to get this number to drop again. Remember, it was dropping last time, so we know if we go right, the number will drop. We're off course by just a hair. So I'm going to go to 3.5. I want to drop it. The closer we get, the smaller the corrections can be. What the fuck is going on here? I did 0.5. My God. Ugh, that pisses me off. That's frustrating. We're close. I can't take these big deviations this close. It's me typing in the wrong number, and it's dicking up my system here. Fuck. That's right. We're real close to. I don't want to dick up this approach at the end. All right, let's go 3.5. Let's go a little bit more. Let's go. Nah, I don't want to do too much. I don't. Okay, we're all right. We're dropping again. We're close, so I can't do big corrections. I'm gonna just drop the fog a little bit because I screwed up. That was just me pushing the wrong. I pressed 3.5 and I pressed 0.5 by accident. All right, there's the airport. Airport in sight. Autopilot's disengaged. We're landing. So like there it is right there. You can barely see it. That's how it'd be in real life. You can barely see these Johnnies. All right, so we're landing. Cleared land. Landing gear is down and 3 green. All right, here we go. We're descending. Now we're visual. We're visual with the airport, so we don't need to worry about the approach anymore. But that frustrated me there. By typing in 0.5, it had the plane turn in the wrong direction, which is not good. Okay, just trying to pull off some power here. There we go. Brakes, 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 brakes. Okay, good. So that was a quick catch on my part that I really put in 0.5 because that would have screwed me. That would have put me 30 degrees off course. That would have been really bad. I was only about 5 degrees off on the turn when I noticed it. So, but that's what it's like for an instrument approach IRL. Now, with an ILS, you could go with the clouds even lower than this. But so that's the most challenging of them because we have to go over the mountains. So we have to descend later, so you want to make sure you get set up earlier. Set the brakes. Shut down. And then we want APU still on. We can shut that off. Gens are off. Good. All right, so that's pretty good on that. So that's the new approach. So I've got 4 of them. God damn it. Can you get out of the cockpit, please, dude? I've got 4 of them made up for this airport now. I'm going to keep making them for all the airports so that we can go anywhere. Because I pretty much had to keep the weather up wherever we go. Now we can go into anywhere. You're talking like a CFI? I am a CFI. I have not taken any CFI refresher courses, so I would have to do those before I could instruct again. But I was a CFI. I was a CFI, CFII. That's why I'm talking about a CFI as I was. And then I was an airline pilot. So, and I didn't bother refreshing it because it was right in the recession. I'm like, I don't want to pay for refreshers. Let me work on this tug a little bit. So the problem is this nose wheel should get picked up. I made one that picks up the nose wheel. Let me see if we can find it. Let me get rid of the approach plate. But yeah, that was, you know, that's why I know what I'm doing. Is I was a flight instructor and I was an airline pilot there, Kev. Purchase workbench. Stick it up your ass. Look, I left this map specifically for to do this. I'll show you guys how I've been working on these. Oh fuck you! Did it pick it up? Okay, it didn't. Okay, let's do tug. I had a tug, so like when I flew for Eagle, and we had the Embraer 145, this is how we get picked up. They would pick up our nose wheel. So for a lot of jets, they have to pick up the nose wheel, or they don't have to, but they do. So like you would have a little cart like this, and it actually picks up the nose wheel, and it makes it a lot easier to move them. So for the small jets, they do this because it's much more maneuverable. So they go ahead and you would, come on, stop doing this. Oh, Jesus Christ. This thing never got finished either. Nothing gets finished. And then this one has a harp. No, it is a magall. Okay, what's the magall on here? Of course, I didn't label it. Why would I do that? For convenience sake. So let's back it up. Okay, and then let's see if I can figure out what I put the magall on. 1. Okay. That's so... So, like, this is the type for a lot of these smaller jets you'd have, is it actually lifts the nose wheel up. And that makes it so you can much more easily move it. Like that. And then you would lift it up like this. So we used to get lifted up like this. And then they could back us and turn us like this. So, like, they could go like this and completely rotate us around. And that's why you have this type of tug. So, because you can completely rotate the plane like that. And then if you wanted to... you know, push it in, you then go like this, and it's really super maneuverable. You know, you can pretty much push the airplane where you want. Within reason, of course, in game. I can't see the wheels, it's too dark. There you go. Yeah, that's going to be a bitch now. You going to be a pain in the ass? You are. Okay. So I need to come up with a better tug that will lift the nose wheel, because that's why I might have had the brakes on. Let me see if I left the brakes on. You don't want to be pushing with the brakes on. I probably had the brakes on. Yep, brakes are on. That would be why. I had the brakes on. Alright, so, yeah, I'll work on another tug, but working pretty well. I need to fix some things on this, like the bank angle's not enough for some of my turns, but worked pretty well. You know, so I'll show you all the approaches. It was quite a bit of, like, work, but I've got a workflow down now, so I can get these going pretty fast, but I'll bring up all the approach plates. So this is the one we just did, the 3-1. So, like, you know, Jeppesen is one of the companies that... Where's the scroll? You fucker. Ugh. I'll just go to paint. It's annoying me. Go to paint. Instrument approaches. Let's see. NDB3 fin. Here's the one that I was just on. So, like, this is... you know, you have the frequencies here. Jeppesen is the company that makes a lot of these approach plates, so mine's Capesen. And then this is your MSA, so your minimum safe sector altitude. And so it is 1,000 feet above the highest obstacle, which is Mount Goldblum. And as you can see, it's on the chart here of 1460. So it tells you how high that is, so you know not to hit the friggin' thing. It's military, SYA put for Sawyer. So that would be airport and the state. And so I put it as airport and the it's Sawyer Islands. So like the other one will be Meyer Islands, and then you'll have you know, Arctic. Military airport's the name of the airport. NDB runway 3 is the what the type of approach it is. Runway 3 GPS. NDB 600 is the frequency for the radio. MIL is the right here. If you can't see it, it's too blurry, but that's MIL. That would be the NDB is MIL. MIL airport elevation is 72 feet. That's the outbound course. That's the altitude. Again, we keep a little higher on this one because we go over the mountains. And we need at least 1,000 feet, so it'd be 2460, but we don't go in odds in instrument flying. You go to the next highest 1,000 pretty much, so 3,000. And then 752. So there's a number of reasons why you have the minimum altitudes. One, circle lands, you usually stay a little bit higher. You want to be closer to pattern altitude. Also, for noise abatement. Like, we descended right here, right around the river. This is a town. We have Holt right here, right? We also go over the container port. You know, they don't want you buzzing them at 500 feet. You know, that was the person who didn't understand minimum altitudes. You got to understand that you have to, by law, maintain at least 500 feet above people, and property and vehicles. Like you can't buzz you can buzz the beach to a certain extent, but you need to be a certain distance away from the people. So you need to be 500 feet away from the people at all times. So you could go 10 feet off the water if you wanted, but you need to be at least 500 feet away from the people. And so when you're coming over the top of them, you got to be at least 500 feet. And the towns don't want you buzzing them all day at low altitude, so they tend to raise the altitude. So yes, you can have a minimum altitude that's lower than what they'll actually allow you to do for noise abatement. For example, we used to go over DFW at 10,000 feet and turn around and drop in because Dallas didn't want all the noise all the time. And then missed approach, if we, like say we came in and we couldn't see the runway, it was too foggy, we would then, once you hit the point, so you continue along, and once it flips, you would do a climb to 1,000, then climbing right turn, 2,000 direct to the MDB and hold. So you'd come up, you would climb to 1,000, then you do a climbing right turn, you'd come back, and then this is a left-hand hold. So what you would do is you'd come in like this, you would go out, and then you would come out like this, do a teardrop in, and then you would join the hold. Now, IRL, you never hold like this. IRL, if you do a missed approach, it's because the airport's below minimums. If you're in the airlines, you almost never run an approach if it's going to be below minimums. You go somewhere else. Every once in a while, you'll miss, but you'll go to your alternate because you can't afford to burn all that fuel. But that's the 3. Let's see if I can bring up some of the other ones. Let's see. We have the runway 11. So this is 11. I finished this one. We haven't run this one yet, but that's the runway 11. So this one's coming in here, opposite of 295. We did do 295 the other day. Come in, and pretty much the same thing. Make sure I fix this. Climbing left turn, yep. So a little bit different hold procedure here. And this one has right turn, so again, you'd come in, do a teardrop in, and do that. So you'd hit the point, go out for a minute, and then you do a standard, you'd stay on the heading, do a standard rate turn, and then you would join the 011 course in. So do a hold there. Let's see, what else do we have for approaches? We have the, that's 11. We have the 21. 21 is coming from the north. So you would, same thing, pretty simple there. But they're mostly pretty similar. So I want to do a bunch of the other airports in game. I want to eventually have everything done. So if we go somewhere and the weather is crap, I don't have to artificially change the visibility. I can just still land. So like, for example, some of them are going to be absolute disastrous. Like here, let's get rid of the darkness here, my old friend. And let's teleport around. I'll kind of show you. We'll bring that back into the workbench. Where the hell are we? Right here. Let's bring that workbench. All right, Cap Air jets back in. And then, so like, we have military here. For this one's a pain in the ass because of this mountain. I really wish the devs would fix this. It's obnoxious. Like you would not put a mountain at the end of the runway like this. Like you have to come in really steep, and so this one's gonna be a pain in the ass. So like you could only descend to about, like this is like you would go around if you were this high, and this is how high you'd have to be. So like this is nuts. So what I might do is, like, so they have these things called circling approaches. So what you'd do is you'd come in like this off the side. And then if you once you see the airport, you would then turn for a downwind. And then you'd come in. So maybe I'll do a circling to that runway only. So I might do circling only to that runway. And then you do a regular approach in here. So it'd be the same type of thing. You would come in, and this one, they can land fine in this. But all they have to do is, like, dude, just, like, trim the mountain. Like, trim this section of the mountain out. And then we're good, man. You know, trim that section of the mountain out. Like, make it a hill here. You know, I wish they would do that. So then we have Harrison over here. Harrison's easy. Harrison has no real obstacles, I don't think. FJ's easy. Clark. Clark, what I might do is put, for FJ, I might do a step descent in there because of Clark, so that would be kind of neat to do. This one has a little bit of a hill, but it's not the end of the world. Like that, I could still do a 3 degree and come in. Dre Moore is pretty cake to do. Let's see. FJ, see, this is the thing that would be kind of cool with FJ and Clark is like, so notice FJ, it goes right over the top of Clark. So, like, I'm talking 10 miles is the final you usually do in a jet like that. And so if we went ahead and looked, let's put a marker out there. I'm trying to see what 10 miles. 10 miles probably here. Let's see. Nope, that's still too short. That's about 10 miles, right? Right there is 10 miles. That's about 10 miles right there. So that's about how long your final would be. So you're coming in right over the airport, so you cannot buzz this airport. So you'd have to stay, you know, you'd be coming in over here, but you have to stay probably, oh, I don't know, 2,000 feet until you get to here. And then what you would do is descend. So that would be now, so, geez, that's close. That's like 3 miles. That's excessive. So you might do a step descent on that. And then the other thing that's cool with FJ being there is if this is where the 10 miles is, you'd have to worry about Ender. So I might come in at 3,000. Then once we clear Ender straight in approach right here, you would descend down to to maybe 1,000 and cross Clark at 1,000, and then 2,000. We probably have enough time. We could go from here down to 2,000. So we could cross at 2,000, then descend down to your final altitude for FJ. I could do some departures too, where, for example, coming out of here, you would not want to go into Clark's approaches. So you'd come out, and then you would take a right turn. So like that's like, especially around New York, you have JFK, LaGuardia, and JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark all near each other. So it's like really complex. Let me see if I can find some Newark arrivals. They're kind of neat. I have a good story on one of the Newark arrivals. So let's go ahead and bring up that. All right. So what was it? EWR, Newark. All right, here's Newark. Let's see. I used to do the Canarsie climb all the time. Let's see. Arrivals. Where are the arrivals? Here are the arrivals. Departures. Where's arrivals? All right, here are the arrivals. So I'm trying to think which arrival we did. I think, was it Flossie? Might have been Flossie. Let me look. So, like, this is the arrival into Newark because you have so much traffic. Let's see if, okay, that's one of the arrivals. And then let me see the crossing altitudes. So there's 17,000. There's 14,000. There's 8,000. There's 5,000. There's 7,000. There's 4,000. All right, and so you have to, it's a step descent, and you have to descend because, you know, you have all the other traffic from other airports. And so you have to do this step descent to come in. Brand 1. See if Brand 1. Brand 1's kind of the same type of thing here. Let's see. Let's see where we're at here altitude-wise. 21,000. 21,000, 21,000. When do we start a descent here? It's interesting. 6, 10,000. Yeah, I don't know this one off the top of my head. Can't remember that one. Let's see. So then let's look at a departure. So the Devil one. Let's see. Newark 5. Let's look at. Okay, that's gross. All right. What is this? That's sideways. I can't read that. I could flip it, but I'm not going to. Trying to find an approach. So let's see one of the. Check one of these out. One of these ILSs out. So, like, this is the ILS into what runway here? 4 right. So that's what the ILS. So the ILS takes you all the way down to the ground. You know, so that's you got to worry about that. And then the missed approach here is a lot more complicated. It is, you know, straight up to you would fly straight up to 560 feet, right climbing turn to 2,000 to Tiny. At Tiny, you want to make a left climbing turn, a 015. It could be climbing if you haven't reached the point yet. Net B at 2,000. And then from Net B, you want to go a 313 climbing left turn up to 3,000 to Flyers. So the New York airspace is a big pain in the ass for all this reason, you know. And so like some of these things here are for, you know, the reason you're doing the climbs too are for the towers. Like these are all your towers and buildings and stuff you'd have to worry about hitting. Like this one's the big one because it's the biggest one in the area. So you notice it's 1,806 feet, so you got to worry about that. And if we look at it, that would probably be the Freedom Tower or whatever the hell they call it. This is Manhattan right here, so I would say that. Let's see what the what is it called? Is that what it's called? I think they ironically called it the Freedom Tower. I would bet that's what it is. 1,776 feet. So that's it. That's marking the tower. It's got a little bit extra on it. Well, it's because of the sea level. So if we look at it, it's the tip is 1,792 feet, and then plus whatever the height above sea level is. So I would say if we took 1,806 minus that, that would tell us how high off the water it is. But that's the Freedom Tower right there. And then we have another building here. Was that Chrysler building? Let me look. Building. I spelled it wrong, but whatever. 1046. That's not the Chrysler building. What else is the big building in New York? Here we go. Let's see if we got another, see what the big buildings are. Chrysler Building, 3 World Trade Center, Bank of America Tower, Park Avenue right here. So Park Ave is 426 meters, meters to feet. 426, 1397, I bet that's it. 1397 plus sea level. No. There's got to be something else. It could be an antenna, too, at that height. Like, there are antennas that are this high, so I don't know what that is. But, interesting. But, yeah, that's kind of what's going on with the real stuff. So let's check some chat here, and I'll probably wrap up. I think I'll wrap up here. Let me read some of this. I was, yep, thanks, Kev. Appreciate it. Looking through my microcontrols today and found old one that's PID controlled. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up here. We'll thank the members. All right, so remember, tonight is the deadline for Build Challenge India, so get them wrapped up midnight tonight, my time. East Coast, U.S., EST. So thank you, Side Mountain, Connor Boyle, Danny, Sergeant Chaos, Aaron Pizzol, Rasmus, Mandy VR, Citrus, and Anton Anderson for being members. Thank you to Chicken Store for being a patron. If you guys are interested in either of those, you can look in the description below. If you guys are new and have yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing. And if you guys would like the video, if you did enjoy it, appreciate that. See you guys later. Bye.